Alright everyone, we're back with another episode of Speedruns From the Crypt, your bi-weekly horror hotfix, brought to you by GDQ. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Before we begin the show, I do want to say that Flame Fatales just finished its most recent all-moon speedrunning event, Flame Fatales. You can check out the playlist at youtube.com/gamesdonequick to find any of the runs that you missed last week. Alright, so today's episode is going to be very obvious. It was my birthday as of yesterday. Time zones, yesterday, the 30th. And every year for my birthday, I decide, hey, I want to pick some of my favorite games. I like to be very just obvious on what I pick. I like certain runs. I like a lot of runners. So today is my treat to myself and to you, hopefully, where I hope that you'll enjoy some of my favorite runs throughout the year, both new and old. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you're going to be seeing this yearly at this point because I think this is the third time this has been on, but you know what? I love the run. What can I say? I'm still waiting to get a copy of this game at some point. I was telling the runner before the show started that I have a copy somewhere in existence with a friend, but I don't know where it is. Anyway, that being said, this is going to be Illbleed featuring Punchy. Take it away.
Right, hello everyone, I'm Punchy, and Ignisus, happy birthday. Happy birthday. I know it was, yes, whatever. Happy birthday, glad to be here. And this will be Illbleed. I'm just gonna start the run and launch into it in 3, 2, 1, video games. Okay, so Illbleed is a game of 6,000 different mechanics, not all of them used at the same time. So Illbleed is the amusement park that we're in. It's a horror amusement park, but it really tries to kill you. Look at this interface. This is inscrutable. Illbleed is a nightmare. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase gauze from the helpful shop. I've started with $3,000, which is a perfectly normal amount for a high school student to be carrying around. The gauze is a safety measure. It will restore bleed gauge, which is not currently on the screen because I haven't been hit by anything yet. Should I be hit by something, it may come up. Bleeding to death is unsurprisingly a big problem in the game called Illbleed. And we enter the first level, the first attraction, the home run of death. And now, mechanics. Explain the mechanics. This is something I always stress about early on because Illbleed is a mess. This is a trap. These activate when you get close to them. That first one is completely unavoidable. That's just how Illbleed chooses to introduce itself to you. It's that kind of game. And the first thing we need to do is acquire the horror monitor, which is in the same place in every level, but it's invisible, and you can tell where it is when the 4 sensors on the top of the screen spike. And the sensors are normally how you tell where traps are. For instance, the sight sensor spiking here, so that trap is here. Although I don't really pay much attention to the sensors, I just have things memorized. There are 3 trap layouts per stage. Which one it picks is random on entering the stage. I have mapped it all out. It took me like 2 weeks to do that. Like, straight, of just doing nothing but replaying levels over and over again. So the first thing we have to do is identify which pattern we are on, which we can do right here. It's not the light bulb, so it has to be this door. Is it 1 door or 2 door? It's 2 door. There are 2 smelly doors. Right light bulb. Okay, so I've identified that I'm on pattern B. The pattern names are arbitrary, this is just the names I assign to them. So I know, I don't think that's not the window scare, but I tag it for safety anyway, because if I'm wrong about that, I die, more or less, because that trap does lots of damage. It's this one instead. So I dodged past everything, because I knew where it all was, because I quickly identified which randomly generated pattern I'd gotten. And normally when you tag a trap, it doesn't play a cutscene, but some of them do anyway, because they got fancy animations and what have you. But if I didn't tag it, I'd get hit by it, and I'd take a lot of damage, and I'd start bleeding, and then I'd start dying, because you don't have much health to start with. And we pick up our first weapon, which is invisible here, the home run bat. But the home run bat, you see...
Jimmy!
Jimmy,
it's time for practice! Get out to the training field now! Hey, you're not Jimmy!
We're not Jimmy. Anyway, we have Jimmy's bat now. We are not Jimmy, we are Eriko. A very American name for this American girl. Her trait is that she is fearless. Right, so normally there's a whole bunch of enemy encounters like littering this hallway, but enemy encounters sort of take an RPG style where they're invisible unless you get too close to them per the 6th sense indicator on the top, but if I bank the hard left through this, I can get through it with no problem. Proceed to the kitchen, and I know in advance Tag this, tag that, tag that. The bloodstain is a trap on pattern B. The oven is a trap on pattern B. And this, you don't need to tag this to pick it up, but it's really hard not to. The Kaiseki Ryori. It is a full heal item. That's one of the few regional differences. You may have noticed I'm playing the Japanese version. There are extremely few version differences between the American and Japanese versions of Illbleed. That's one of them. The food items are different. Instead of a steak dinner, like it is in the American version, it's a Kaiseki Ryori in the Japanese version, which is a... How do I explain what a Kaiseki Ryori is? It's a kind of set course meal. It's common to traditional Japanese inns. It's like seasonal... Shut up, no one cares. Next, beer table. Consistent across all the patterns. There's an enemy encounter in the bathroom here. I'm going to bank left around these beds to avoid it. I have successfully dodged doing more combat. How very gamer of me. This dead body animates even if you tag the scare, but it's worth tagging the scare anyway so that you don't get like knocked down by it. Some traps do damage, some of them merely increase your heart rate. If your heart rate gets too high, you start to bleed out faster if you're bleeding, and also if your heart rate gets to 255, you die, flat out. That's very hard to achieve with Eriko, because she starts with like the heart rate lessening attribute maxed. Anyway, I'm just gonna like clip through this wall. That's fine. Don't worry about that. That skips an enemy encounter as well. Normally it's unavoidable. It's at the foot of the stairs. This pattern doesn't have this in it. Nope, I can just run by. Now, can I skip this enemy with a jump? Ooh, no. Oh, I thought I got it there for a moment. It was close. That's a tricky one. That's a tricky jump. And it's not possible on every pattern. It's possible on this one. And this is running away from combat. You run to the helipad and you mash the B button, and the helipad gives you a lift. We'll dodge another enemy encounter here by running around the left side of this room, and then we're in the final hallway. At least in terms of randomly generated traps. That light bulb contains an enemy, I'm sure of it, so we tag it. Tagging a fight, you can't avoid the fight by tagging it, but it means you start without getting knocked down, and your heart rate doesn't increase. That's helpful, because it means we get a little bit of time to try and run away. That guy smacked me in the back of the head with a wrench. Very uncool. So there's the bleeding gauge. It's the red bar above the green bar. Once it reaches a certain amount, it's not the blue arrow. The blue arrow, once it gets past the blue arrow, that's where you start to slowly die. You start to lose health. But when it gets above a certain amount, and it's not a very high amount, your bleeding starts to slowly increase over time if you run. The game wants you to walk slowly and, like, take care, etc., etc. But this is a speed run, so that is not happening. Hence all the gauze. So I can keep running at full speed without having to, like, slow down to treat my my bleeding, because that would be extremely inconvenient. Play ball!
First base, Jimmy!
Okay, now, here we go!
And Eriko is a natural. We got a home run, and our reward is this guy. He thinks we're Jimmy. We are not Jimmy. No, we're not Jimmy. It occurs to me that you guys probably can't understand what he's saying, because it's subtitled but in the wrong language. Anyway, he's a boss, but we can't kill him. He has infinite health. He has a flamethrower. This is inconvenient. The flamethrower inexplicably inflicts quite a lot of bleed, too. So I'd rather not get hit by it. There we go. A narrow escape. It's running away from fights in this game, it's always narrow escape. It has nothing to do with how narrow it actually is. It just says that every time. And now, this is a chase segment. A completely different mechanic, where the flamethrower dude will chase us around the maze, and if he touches us, it will start like a little mini encounter with him. We would prefer to not have that happen. See how Eriko's head is like turning as she runs through the maze? She's looking at the monster, ban below, sometimes through the wall. Juke around him like so. This can be manipulated with camera positioning and taking the exact line. There's a little bit of randomness to it regardless though, but if you do it the right way, generally things work out, although where is he? I don't like that. I'm gonna pause instead. If you bring up the map quickly using the Y button, you can freeze enemy movement in place for a split second, which enables you to make dodges that otherwise might be a bit too tricky. So that's your, like, safety net. If you're like, I don't like that. And I did not, in fact, like that. There's Kevin. Kevin was on the screen on the floor for about 2 seconds. Don't worry about Kevin. Kevin's one of our friends. This is the reason in lore why Eriko goes to Illbleed in the first place. Her friends go to Illbleed, they don't come back. Eriko goes looking for them. A wholesome story for the ages. Most of them are going to die. Kevin isn't because he's more trouble to kill than he is to save. At this point in the game, Kevin would die if we took 25 minutes real life to get through this maze. I'm nearly done. So that is not happening. And as a result, Kevin will be automatically added to our party. He will never see use, but he is there. There he is. See, I manipulated his position there to be so I could run past him by keeping the camera in a certain way, so he never even gets on the screen. We run straight through to the boss fight. Now we can actually fight him using the power of baseball.
So I have to ask, because I know you've ran True Ending, what do you do during those 25 minutes of, like, you do the run on stream, obviously, it just...
No, I DJ usually.
Okay.
I started DJing, like, the DDR soundtrack for 25 minutes, the last time I did it. I have killed Banbalo, sort of. He gets set on fire. This is Kevin. He has to come with us. As soon as you get near him, he wakes up and he's like, I'm not dead. Let me join your party. An extra party member functionally acts like a second life in this game, so that's kind of a little insurance for the run. So it's not unhandy, but on the other hand, if anyone figures out how to skip Kevin, please give me a ring so True Ending can be a category where you don't spend 25 minutes doing nothing. Thank you. Now there's Giant Banbalo. I sort of neglected to call attention to that because this just happens. If you're wondering why is he now a giant, it just happens. This is happening now, you must deal with it. And I must deal with the Illbleed platforming, which is tremendous fun, I assure you. If it looks bad, it's because it is. I like this game, don't get me wrong, I really do. But this platforming is... It's platforming. It could be said to be platforming. Also, I'm dodging when he does those big sweeps. Like, if you're wondering why I'm not getting hit by that, it's because when you press the A button, you dodge. Your heart rate increases by 2 every time you dodge, so there's, like, some penalty to overusing it. But not I'm gonna get hit by that. No, he missed completely. Never mind. But, dodging just makes you completely invincible. Like, completely. We've arrived at the control room. Eriko's going to complain to the park employee that thing is killing her. And the park employee doesn't really seem to care. In fact, he seems to be enjoying it. Eriko does not take this well. I have killed him. But he was also a robot, so it's actually okay. And anyway, I'm gonna steal this guy's ID card now. And that's all we need to finish the level. But you must platform all the way back to get to the end of the level. And in fact, you can platform in the wrong way during the Banbalo chase and just get, like, stuck in a dead end. And it's platform all the way back and go the right way this time, except, you know, you won't know which way is the right way the first time you're playing. Illbleed. I love this game. There's really nothing like it. Like, as you might be able to tell from... my description of what's happening, there's like, nothing is like Illbleed, nothing has ever been like Illbleed, and nothing will probably ever be like Illbleed ever again, but, you know, that's for better and sometimes for worse. A charming experience. Not a universally refined one, though, but one loves it all the same. You cannot make that jump. I try every time to make that jump, it is not a thing. Keep believing that if I do it just a little bit later this time, you'll be able to jump from that log to that log, and it's like, nope, you just can't do it. It's just not quite there. She doesn't have the ups for it. That went pretty well, as far as stage 1s go. I've used my ID card. And since this is a question that is always prompted when I run Japanese language games, why do I run the Japanese version? There is no reason, it's cheaper. That is my very typical response to that question. English copies of this game are extraordinarily rare. They go for like upwards of $200. Japanese copies are still rare and go for upwards of like 90 sometimes, but 90 is less than 200. So that's the version I have. Also, I'm British and this game was never released in Europe, so I have to import something either way. Second verse, same as the first. Purchase some healing items before we head to the level. That is once again insurance for the run. In PB attempts, I would just ball and just go without, and if I make a mistake, well, it's like 10 minutes in the run, whatever. You reset. But in this setting, we gotta finish, you know? Anyway, Revenge of the Queen Worm is the second attraction to the Challenger. There's like a list of goals at the beginning of the level for like end level conditions of like health levels, bleed levels, trap. It doesn't matter, don't worry about it. And everything I told you about trap detection in this level, where you need to find the horror monitor, we're still going to find the horror monitor, and how you must tag traps, and there's 3 trap layouts per stage. You may now completely forget everything I told you for this level. This stage doesn't work like that. So everything I just told you about how Illbleed works, don't worry about it. It's irrelevant for the next about 10 minutes. That's the kind of game that Illbleed is. Every stage has like a different gimmick. The gimmick of this level is worms. There are worms in yonder floor. It's a sad state of affairs. You would probably rather there not be worms in the floor. This is this left? This is left side. I'm dodging an enemy encounter by banking left around that, and it's quite an annoying enemy encounter too, so it's important I get that right. It's a group of cane-wielding monkeys who show up and attack you if you don't dodge that one properly, and that sounds really funny and quirky, and it is, but it's also kind of difficult and disorienting, and I'd rather not do it. There's the worm. The worm is in the floor. It is a tremors thing. I have ran around the worm, as that taking that line will get you through that most of the time. Much like the other pursuer section in the first level, taking the same kind of lines and manipulating the camera will generally get you through things with a modicum of consistency. There is a luck element to it, though. Sometimes enemies are just in places, and you're just like, why is that dude there? And it's like, well, sometimes dudes are just in places, Dudes be like that.
So, following along with that really quick, like the puzzle RNG, would you say the enemy RNG also has like 3 different spawn seeds, or is it just they're usually in the same spots?
It's just they're usually in the same spots. But sometimes through whatever, normal chaos, they're just sort of not. Like, that guy was up to something there. He was sort of doing his idle animation when I showed up, and that sort of threw me off a bit, but I got through it. I've acquired the sense for it. I skipped another enemy encounter there by keeping right this time around the railing. Another group of cane-wielding monkeys who I'd prefer not to deal with. They are hassle. And you may notice I don't have a weapon at this point as well. You can punch things in this game, it's pitifully slow. This last dodge is the trickiest one, as the spawning is a crapshoot. Haha, I got through it. Excellent. Okay, didn't get touched by a worm once. That is quite good for episode 2. But now we must solve puzzles. Too late, too tired, the bad artist. Mood. Next. Avoid touching the floor here, otherwise you'll summon the queen worm. We must pick up this baby bottle. It is a key. Like, not literally a key. It's a key item. Although it kind of works like a key. We must go to this convenience store. A ghost will not let us in unless we give it a baby bottle, so we're going to do that. This is all occurring in cutscenes that I'm immediately skipping. I will let some of the cutscenes rock, but not all of them. I don't have all day. Sometimes people ask me, how long would an all cutscenes run of this game? How long would that take? About 3 and a bit hours. It would double the length of the run on the spot. Once again, we're going to avoid enemies by banking right and sticking to these billboards that have cool movie titles on them. Eyes wide open, Dummy Man. Dummy Man 2, Overdrive, Godla. Godla. Just... Good. Just Godzilla minus a syllable. Good work. Run in here. There's normally notes you'll be picking up in this shack that tell you where to find a flamethrower and to kill Rachel, which, as it turns out, is the name of the giant worm patrolling, the car park over there, although we haven't actually seen Rachel yet because I've evaded the unnecessary encounters. Attack of the Bee Monster! It contains a flamethrower. It's out of gas. We cannot use it at the moment, but it will be the key that we need to finish this level. We are knocking down billboards using our newly acquired spanner. It says wrench. I get confused in this. It says wrench in the English labeling. It says spanner in the Japanese. This is one of those false friend words, I think. Whatever, people do not come here for linguistics. Regardless, I have knocked down 3 billboards. They will form platforms for me to platform around. Dealing with Goblin Moon. Dealing with Illbleed platforming is more of an art than a science. But deal with it I shall. But yes, if we were to touch the ground, as in like the dirt, we would be immediately transported into an unwinnable boss fight against a big worm Rachel. We can run away from the fight, but it would restart us at the beginning of like the platforming, so you have to, you know, actually do the platforming correctly. We cannot currently win without our flamethrower, so we must get fuel. And the fuel is over there, in yonder barrels. And I have made it. Get all the way over there, fill up our flamethrower from the fuel barrels, and the fight immediately begins. There's not even a cutscene, just smash cut. It's just a thing now. Counter hit, right, so counter hits. This game is a fighting game, actually. When you bait the boss into doing an attack, they recoil if you hit them out of it, acquiring a counter hit state like that. That's counter hit. That's a counter hit state. You do bonus damage, you won't counter hit. So I'm trying to bait them into attacking. That is not attacking. That's also not attacking. That's attacking. Counter hit. It's a little random, but generally posturing in a certain place will get you counter hits. Yes, nice counter hit, just like that. Get them stuck in the loop, hit them with the mix-up. They're falling for the bait. They can't hold this. They never block. They never learn. That might kill. That might have just about killed. Like on the last tick of damage, that might have killed. Yeah, it did. Excellent. Good boss fight. Well done. Nothing but counter hit. And we have now killed Rachel, thus fulfilling the wishes of its owner, who I didn't really discuss in the course of this level. But there was a guy who owned the worm Rachel, who loved Rachel very much.
Rachel!
There he is. It's Bruce Forsyth. I make that joke every time. Americans don't understand it.
You appear to be okay. Oh, that's
You know, given this year, I thought I should Google him, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm still as confused the first 3 times as I am this time.
Hey, you, young one. Thank you.
So he's a British television
Never
presenter.
forget your kindness.
Anyway, they're going to hell. Like he said, his words, not mine. That's all well and good for them. I just want gas. I have acquired gas. And with the gas, I can leave the level. We just rev up the car and drive out. And that's the end of stage 2. So far, so good. My prize for this is $80,000. In fact, it's exactly $80,000 because I didn't get hit by anything. Smashing! Dun. Once again, we're going to buy huge. This is not insurance for the run. This buy. I mean, well, it's kind of insurance for the run, but you buy even in like proper attempts because you kind of need all the help you can get with this level. Like, you are going to take damage. You need to buy some healing. This is not the kind of game where if you play it like the combat super well, you can always avoid damage. It's like a perfectly skill-based thing. No, sometimes it's just whack. Grab some healing. You will need it. You get given this much money for a reason. You are supposed to use it. Stage 3, wood puppets. And we are now back to like the style of the first level where we must once again scan for traps and figure out our pattern. Although we cannot figure out our pattern from the outside area, although actually maybe we can, but it's faster to just run through the starting area because you can. We must figure out our pattern once we are indoors. Ooh, is it pattern C? No? What pattern are you? It is pattern C. How charming.
Cool.
Pattern C, I can skip this third scare here by hugging the wall, and we arrive at this guy.
Who holds Gonna cut the tree, gonna cut the tree, and I got to cut the tree, cause I love to cut the tree. Yo ho ho, and I'm out of control, I'm gonna cut the tree.
He was out of control. So the tree cut him. That's nice, mate. Can I have your axe, mate? Thanks. Right, so pattern C means the trap here is the bloodstain, and I think it's also the... I can't quite target the ceiling from here. It's the ceiling, but I can't target it from here. It's a bit too far in. So I knew my pattern. I knew my pattern. He knows what it is. It's like he spent too long routing the game. Tag the holes in the wall. Excellent. Looking good, looking good. Why does the Japanese version have English V8? That's actually very common for Japanese games. Believe it or not. A lot of Japanese horror games actually don't have Japanese voiceover. Oh, I didn't... I thought I got that one. Apparently not. Good thing that one doesn't do damage. And it only raised my heart rate by a measly 20. That is a withstandable loss. That's one of our friends. He is Wood Puppet. He also has no brain. That is the last we will be seeing of him. He does not get saved in this run. Actually, that illustrates the difference between, since someone in chat asked, any percent and other categories. Any percent, you beat the game and you get the bad ending, where you don't save any of your friends that you don't have to, like Kevin. Good ending is where you save all your friends. It adds time to the run because you have to do optional encounters, and in one case you gotta go spend a bunch of money, because it's faster to spend money to resurrect your friend than it is to save them, because you can spend money between levels to resurrect your friends if you didn't find them in the stage, but it's very, very expensive, and you only really have enough money to do it once. Anyway, I'm going to take this guy's wood. I have received wood. Moving on. Ah, he's very cross about the fact I took his wood. For this, he must die. Okay, so another rule of Illbleed combat, other than the fantastic geysers of blood, is that regular enemies, bosses are exempt from this for some reason, regular enemies can only die on counter hit. You know how, like I said, if I hit enemies out of a thing, they get a little stagger animation and you do a little extra damage? Regular enemies can only die if if they receive a counter hit after being dropped to 0 HP. They can take regular attacks until the cow comes home. But as soon as they take a counter hit, they die. So aim for counter hits. I'm luckily still below the threshold where I can run without increasing my blood gauge, but it's very close to the point where I would need to take a heal. Very close. It doesn't have to be very high at all before it starts becoming a problem. And as I learned somewhat recently, if you're bleeding out to the extent where... That's really like 5 cutscenes stacked above each other, huh? If you're bleeding out to the extent where your blood gauge is increasing as you run... Did I get that? I did. Your hitbox for trap radius is, like, bigger. It's bigger. Meaning you can be caught by more things from further away. This encounter is unavoidable on pattern C, which technically makes this bad RNG, but I don't think about it very much. Wood puppets! Ow, that guy kicked me while I was down. That's very rude. They attempt to assert dominance on you by T-posing on top of the exit point. Fortunately, they can hit each other, which is handy. I've escaped. I'm still really not in range to need to use a heal, huh? That's very fortunate. So I'm not going to. Use my wood, it opens this keypad. The solution to this is actually a Japanese number pun. Hitogoroshi, meaning to kill a person, but because of the way number wordplay works in Japanese, that can also be read as 1564. That puzzle was changed in the English version. That is also one of the... It's not that one. It's one of the small handful of changes made to the English version of this game. The number puns were altered.
Do you know if there's still a pun in the English version with the numbers or no?
It is. It's like, I ate 6 trees or something. Is the note instead. So it's like, 1863.
Right.
But in terms of, like, content and difficulty level and blah blah blah, the two versions are identical. Here's a particularly annoying trap. It's just the empty space on this bend here. It's just empty space. This is just there to be annoying. That one is there to mess with you. It doesn't correspond to any real object in the environment. It's just space. Thanks, man. Oh yeah, also we became a wood puppet. I kind of jumped into the wood puppet machine and became a wood puppet. Now we're a wood puppet. I didn't, once again, this is a thing I just didn't think to comment on because this just happens. It's like, why does that happen? It just happens. That's just how Illbleed works. Now we're participating in the Woodman Hunting Games as a woodman. There are lumberjacks. They wish to kill us. If they kill us, they get points in their little game. If we win, if we make it to the end without getting killed. If that seems like a bad game, then, well, whatever, Illbleed. Your goal is to survive. Now, this takes the form of another chase-type sequence, although this chase-type sequence is interesting because there are multiple enemies at once. Kind of. There's an asterisk on that statement. Only one enemy can really be spawned at once, but there are multiple spawn points. But if an enemy is currently chasing you, the game will not spawn in more of them. So the ideal strategy is to kind of track one dude behind you. This is, again, more of an art than a science, and we'll once again be bringing up our map to make this easier, as we can pause enemy movement. They run faster than you do. You are supposed to fight these guys. But what if I just don't? That's speed running, baby. As you can see, every time he gets close to me, I simply pull open the map. Fun trick with the menus in this game, too. If you hold down right trigger while they're, like, coming on screen, they draw faster. Like, the page animation, like, speeds up if you hold down right trigger. Save a little time every time you do it that way. I can tell when they're about close to me because I can hear their footsteps behind me, but it's a very low audio cue. So I'm kind of listening for it. Normally there'd be a guy who would spawn in this room, but because I've been tracking this one dude behind me, the game has not spawned him in. And if I can just make it to this cutscene... Yes, that cutscene despawns everything. There's a cutscene of, like, your friend once again running by on the balcony. I'm skipping some cutscenes, but not all of them. Mainly the ones I think are funny. We're going to pick up this wood-eating termite called a woodola. In Japanese, it just says wood-eating bug. Like, literally. You may notice we are made of wood. Do not ask how we can pick up the wood-eating bug. Like, there's nothing in the text that explains that. That also just happens. We need to use the wood-eating bug to get rid of this tree. The woodola, as labeled there in the English. And now we are on the upper path, where no lumberjacks can get to us. They don't know how to climb. That's why they cut down trees. They can't get up them. Fools. You can fall off this. So, like, don't. It's very tragic if you do.
How bad is it if you do?
You have to go all the way back around again.
Oh.
You're in the hole like a few minutes. Okay, now we're in the second bit. That's sort of like a breather section. There's a save point there for your convenience too. Save points in this game are photo booths. But scary lumberjack. They got up here too. They figured out how to climb. Oh dear. This is a very narrow room indeed. Hence I make judicious use. Yep, couple map opens is all you need, seemingly. I think I lost him. Did I lose him? Opening it here again, because if he sneaks up on me when I go down the stairs at that point in particular, I won't notice, because the camera is pulled in so close. If we went right here, we'd get into an optional encounter and save our friend Randy, who currently has no brain. I'm not going to do that. Randy can fend for himself. He doesn't need a brain to fend for himself. Alright, this is going to be uncomfortable, because that dude has in fact spawned. Ideally, you'd track the first guy behind you so this guy wouldn't spawn, because this is a really narrow corridor. But by using map abuse, we can get around it. And we will eventually fight the lumberjacks. I'm, evading these ones is fast for now. But if you have a thirst for lumberjack blood for whatever reason, here we go. We made it to the goal of the Woodman hunting games. We have won. We have won the game, except we haven't because the lumberjacks are cheaters and are hiding inside the goal. So now I'm going to assert dominance. I can do this now too. This is right trigger. This is the button normally mapped to fire gun. There's a separate melee attack button. It produces like this kick attack. It's way worse, so I don't use it. I assert dominance instead. The T-pose is much stronger. Gonna tag that. Oh, can't quite tag the actual trap. There is in fact a trap just in this room. It's very rude. It's there on all patterns. That one isn't random. And second lumberjack. Asserting dominance. Oh, he went for the dash attack. What a round opener. He closed the distance. Ah, but he's got nothing. He can't deal with this. It's a frame trap. Oh, he's getting caught by those frames. Big stuff. He kept pressing. He's minus. Alright. Okay, you see how now when I walk now, the blood gauge flashes and keeps increasing? That's what I mean when I say above a certain point, it starts to increase by itself if you run. You would need to walk to mitigate that effect. I don't want to walk. Like, this is speed running, not speed walking. But that will mean that I am very likely to slowly bleed to death before the end of the level. So I might have been able to make that, but I'm not completely sure on the math. And this is why we buy healing items. Because you bleed out surprisingly fast if you let it, like, take root. Take root, haha, funny. Speaking of taking root, here's a boss. It's a tree. It eats people. Nice to see that the tree from the background of that one Mortal Kombat stage is still getting work. We pop ourselves in this corner, we use the dodge every time it swings, go for a 3-hit combo. A key point here is that you can cancel out of your dodge by pressing attack, so try not to do that too quickly, otherwise you'll get hit by the swinging vine. You cannot, like, buffer your attack out of your dodge. If you press it, just cancels it immediately, so if you're in the middle of a hitbox when you do that, you will get hurt, and you will cry a lot. A perfect fight, no damage taken. I have destroyed tree. My heart rate is getting pretty high, but that's fine, as I have just about finished the level. When your heart rate gets high, about 180 or so, there is a risk of when you get into a fight or see a heart rate raising scare, which is pretty much all of them, the character might pass out on the spot, and will take a few seconds to wake up, which can be very bad if it happens in the middle of a fight. With any luck, we shouldn't see that in a run, as I should, play good. I received a penalty for my heart rate at the end of $3,000. How stingy. That does not matter at all. You get showered with cash in this game with so much frequency that the amount that you get, the tiny amount you get docked at the end of levels is, like, completely irrelevant. The amount of money I'm getting is intended to be spent on character upgrades that I'd be acquiring in the levels. You can increase the length of your health bar, you can increase the resistance to bleeding, you can increase the size of your adrenaline gauge, which is the blue brain thing in the bottom left. That's the resource for tagging traps. You can't tag everything you see. That's why it's important to know what you're tagging. I never even explained that mechanic. That's Illbleed. There's like 5,000 things going on at once. The gimmick of this stage is that it pays you all the money that you would normally win as prize money up front, but getting hit by traps will take money away from you. We find the horror monitor in this room, And again, our first order of business is to ascertain what pattern we're on. It's very obvious because there's only one pattern that has the trolley on it. I'm on pattern B. I call this pattern trolley seed because it's the one that's got the trolley in it. No one else uses that terminology. It's just something I made up. There are 2 traps here.
Cool. Cool.
And it's the blue candy.
Cool.
Nope, tag both, please. There's 2 traps basically overlapping each other. And I find it easier to just tag both and forget about it, rather than actually trying to hit the one in particular that you want. Just like, it's not worth the time trying to like pinpoint it. The controls for tagging traps aren't that precise. Just go, you know, just play. And it's pink on floor, purple on top, purple on bottom, and orange face at the end. If you're wondering how I have all of this memorized, I don't. I have notes. Although I do, in fact, have a lot of this like stored in the brain, but I do have notes. I have judicious lots and lots of notes for these games. It's like a lot to keep in the brain at once. It takes a lot of like practice to get all of it down naturally, which is why I do not, in fact, memorize 3 patterns per level completely. I keep notes. Good advice for speedrunning in general. Keep notes. Notes are good for you. I'm gonna come up here real quick. Grab this hatchet. We need it. It is a weapon. If we do not pick it up now, we will be extremely sad later, as there is mandatory combat in this level. This is Hellcake. Hellcake wants a decoration. This is why we picked up the severed head earlier. He's now complete, and Hellcake is coming with us. Hellcake is a full heal item. We don't need to pick inventory, though. You can't simply use all of them. So the game plan for the 2 cockroaches is feed them 1 meat, hope they leave after 1, and if they don't, just take the hit and run. Oh, F. Chat is... I'm good? Okay, chat was complaining that feed dropped. Right, cockroaches, I'm going to feed them the meat. Didn't go away. Take the hit. You feed them 1 meat, hope they accept it and leave. If they don't, you just take the hit, and my blood goes everywhere. Ouch, ooch, my bones, etc., etc. Second verse, same as the first. Give him the meat and hope he goes away. Nope, 2 hits. That is normal. Standard RNG. It's quite rare that you get away with this, but it's generally not worth trying to feed them over and over again and hope they go away. So now we have 1 meat in our inventory. We are now bleeding quite a lot. That is bad. But because we have 1 meat when we get to here, this guy turns all of our meat into enemies for us to kill. But because I'm only carrying 1 meat, the fight is very simple. And therefore fast. I have destroyed the meat. I win. Next. Alright, and now I have to heal. As I said earlier, if you're bleeding out a certain amount, trap hitboxes are able to clip you from further away, like your hitbox expands. Presumably because you're bleeding and enemies can like track you easier or something. I don't know. It's not in the manual. I figured this out by experimentation. And we're trying to avoid enemy encounters here by riding the wall. This works pretty much every time if you're not bleeding, and will not work at all if you are. Onion. At least I think that's an onion. Would you say that's an onion or not?
Either that or a pumpkin.
Penny, yeah. That or a pumpkin. Penny... Chat opinions on what, like, produce that is. Is that an onion or a pumpkin?
What is, like, some weird third produce?
Possibly. My notes call this room the smelly room. I don't know why. That's just what I called it. Pineapple. The final trap in this room is pineapple. Oh, this is a bit late, but someone asked, what happens if you have no meat when you go into that room? The game does not let you proceed. It will tell you to go away and come back with meat. You need to have a meat to progress at that point. Time for the hardest fight in the game, like, unironically. It is a standard fight against... Drumroll, this cutscene is unskippable. 3 of these dudes. Doesn't seem very intimidating. But the thing with the counter hit rule is in effect, so these guys can only die off a counter hit. And the problem with that is that they very often cover for each other in very obnoxious ways. Okay, so I got a little bit of damage in there, that's fine, that's good. That's counter hit, that's not gonna kill though. See, second guy covering for his friend, even though I got a counter hit. That That's a counter-hittable state. And Eriko missed, because she is bad. I do not take responsibility for that. I blame Eriko. She did not aim in the right direction. That's not a counter-hit state. I can't kill with that. That's counter-hit state, but I'm too late. This is why this fight is miserable. Someone attack me, that's attackable. Counter-hit. Counter-hit, that's counter-hit. You dead? Feed's blowing up again? Why? Cannot pause this either. Okay, 2 down. Pretty good. As long as I get through this without dying, that's really all I care about. Now, why is that occurring? Is it on my end? Doesn't look like it. I killed that guy without looking at the screen. What happened? Whatever, they're dead. I win. Goodbye. Going to heal up after that, since once again, bleeding bad. Do not bleed. Do not bleed in the game of Illbleed. We proceed to Kids World. We proceed to Kids. Thank you. Kids World has the requirement that you need $200,000 before you can set foot in. We have like $4,000 or something, $400,000, so we are like more than fine. You don't need to worry about that at all. We just go. We're rich. We have lots of money.
Cool.
Mana drops a feed here and there, but it comes back pretty quickly. Okay, I'm glad to hear it. I mean, I'm not glad to hear it's dropping. Don't know why it's doing that though. I've got nothing over here.
Cool.
These things happen. Yes, we're in Toy World, and because I know my pattern, I know which things to tag, what side of the wall to stick to. You know, until I forget anyway. It's the Dreamcast over here. There's a Dreamcast trap. It's that over there. Evade the Dreamcast. It will lead you astray. There is no people more misguided in this world than fans of Sega consoles. Let me tell you, but trust me on this. I've been there. It will ruin your life. Don't do it.
Cool.
Okay, we have passed Toy World. And into Play with Mary. I believe the trap is right side of the room. Yes. Okay, and now we're in the Cutie Mary maze. The challenge of the maze is you must find 4 keys to leave. You have to reset if you don't have 200k. If you don't have 200k, there's optional puzzles you can do that will give you lots of money to make it into Kids World. So, like, you can't really soft lock the game at that point. But honestly, I have like 400,000. There's very few ways you won't have that amount of money by that point in the game. Like, they shower money on you in this game. Like, it's a meaningless resource. Anyway, avoiding Cutie Mary, or Scary Mary, as it is at this point. I'm gonna go for it. I went for it. I didn't pause the game. I just went for it. Got him. Good dodge. Love that. If we get tapped by her, we'd enter into an unskippable fight. We'd have to actually win. And Mary does a lot of damage, so I'd rather not. She has a knife. Okay. Okay, she cannot advance beyond this point. I'm gonna wait for her to move, because I don't trust that. I think if I tried to, like, sneak past her by going one way, her hitbox is, like, wide enough that I would have gotten caught, and it's like, I don't trust that. I don't trust that. I'm waiting for her to move. That's not happening. Nope. Is that wide enough? I think so. I think I can make that. If I can't, I'm going to be quite sad. Okay, no, got it. Excellent. And the fourth and final key piece is over here, in yonder boxes. The layout of the maze is always the same. And so are Mary's spawns, so if you know what to do, you can dodge past. Although the way she moves can be quite erratic sometimes. It's hard to predict precisely. And now, the part where it makes you use the keys from the menu one at a time. Oh no. Whoops. They really do make you use these one at a time from the menu. It's like, okay. Thanks. It's like one of my pettiest gripes with survival horror games is games that make you use keys from the inventory manually. Anyway, now we have to play hide and seek. Mary will hide in one of the traps, and if you get the wrong one, you get a big fright that drastically increases your heart rate. Here's the thing, it's seeded using the same logic as the trap generation, so I know exactly where she is based on the pattern. It's the fridge. She's in the fridge. She's cool. She's hiding in the fridge. She gets mad for losing a hide and seek and tries to stab us to death. I'm going to stab her first. But first I'm going to get the advantage by coming in from the back. Got the knockdown. Sneak behind. Take the advantage to reposition. Ah, she evaded. Hate that. This is going to trade. I'll take that trade any day of the week, though. She died off it. She did not die off it. I lied. No, she didn't. No, she did not. Okay. Good. She did not. I thought she was going to die off that. She totally did. Alright. We claim the key. And we claim this Amazon. It's called an Amazon. It just restores all of your parameters to full, like your adrenaline, your heart rate to normal, your bleeding, etc., etc. I don't know why it's called Amazon. It just is. That's the save point, the photo box. We shall not save here. And now, Mary wants to play a different game with us. She wants to play jump rope. We must jump the rope 10 times. I would like to draw attention to this. Button press. Button press. Press. It's extremely delayed. To the point where I just mash for number 8. Because if I don't mash, it never comes out on schedule. I have beaten Mary at the game of jump rope and can leave. Ride the elevator to the top floor where we can meet the owner of the killer department store, Cashman. But when we get to the top floor, look at all the money. The final boss of the stage is a money spider. That's Cashman. He has infinite health. We cannot win. So we must seek an alternative method. We will climb the staircase of money. This is all yen, it's worth nothing. Get up here. That guy's working, but he ain't paying attention. I'm stealing the remote control. This guy, he's off the clock. He doesn't know what's going on. And Eriko, with her newfound power, Cool. We control the spider now, and I'm going to make it destroy itself by running it into the wall over and over again. And since you're probably thinking it, yes, you can make it jump on yourself at this point. If you do that, you die. If you are in fact stupid enough to channel that, the game kills you for it. And that clears the level. We destroy the boss, it starts a fire, and they evacuate us from the attraction, thus clearing the attraction. because for some reason killer spiders is like fine, but the attraction being on fire is a bridge too far for management. I don't know. That's just how it works. That's just how the game works.
So I gotta ask, if you make the spider attack yourself, do you get like a cool cutscene or anything, or do you just like game over?
No, you just take a lot of damage. It doesn't like kill you instantly, but it does a lot of bleed. So like 3 hits and you're out. If you're already hurt by that point, it will probably kill you. Alright, stage 5, the Hall of Resentment, or Killer Man, is the actual name of the level. Killer Man is a murder mystery. And unfortunately, the cutscenes for this level are quite long, so I'm going to have to, like, abridge the murder mystery a bit here. This game is worth appreciating in its full splendor, with all of its context and scenes intact. However, like I said earlier, a all cutscenes run would take about quite literally twice as long. There's a dead guy in the security room. We are now going backstage to, like, tell someone that, like, one of the park employees is dead. And that's bad. We think that's bad. Unfortunately, the back areas of the park are spacious and often just tunnels. But look, here's all the enemies in storage. We can even steal items off them, which we are not going to. Like, there's a dude with an axe in this room. We don't need it. We're never going to use it. Here's this guy. We tell him that, like, one of the park employees has been killed, and he just shrugs us off and goes, nah. There's 2 other people there. We barely saw them. There's, like, Cunningham, I think, is his name. He's, like, the area manager, and Jorg, a reporter. Jorg, the reporter, is based on a real dude who had, like, good relations with the game's producer, I think when they were, like, doing the English localization or whatever, so he was included as a character in the game, like, he voice acts himself. He's on Twitter nowadays. I think he made his own game recently, like The Delivery Man or something? I think that's what it's called. Anyway, ascertain the pattern. Back pool.
Cool.
What is back pool? It's pattern C. Pattern C is the pattern we are on right now. And that's good. I mean, it's good insofar as I can remember what the hell I'm doing. Tag it, you fool.
Cool.
Toilets, toilets, toilets. Toilets, toilets, toilets. There it is. Empty space. That's the trap. Pattern C is a delight. Evading and fight with a very uncooperative egg by banking hard right there. The eggs will come up later. Or will they actually? I think we skipped that fight now. Maybe there are no eggs in this run. I've cancelled egg. They are gone. They have been removed. Egg cancel is the strat. Right, we tag that fight because we can't possibly skip past it. Thus, the ensuing Mary fight, she never notices us and we can achieve a narrow escape quickly. And then I'm just going to run. Because on this pattern, I'm pretty sure I can just run through everything. Bank right here, bank left here, avoid an encounter on the right. Immediately turn to the right, stick right, avoid all the encounters on the left, and we just run straight through. Yep, got him. There's a whole system. That looks like nothing, but there's a whole system that goes into that. We have attained a shotgun. We need that for fighting later. Shotgun is better than axe, so I didn't bother picking up the axe. You never use it. It's better to shoot things than it is to hit them. But okay, we've done one loop around the warehouse. A thing the game just makes you do at this point for some reason. I honestly forget what the plot justification is for making you do that. Like, you're looking for clues, I think, because there's a mysterious missing Killer Man costume. That's what one of the park employees were, like, grumbling about earlier. It's like, oh, one of the Killer Man costumes is missing, and some dude is dead. These events seem totally unrelated. They're not. They're not unrelated. At this point, we are to backtrack all the way back to the monitoring room. I think you're supposed to just, like, I don't think the game tells you to do this. You're supposed to just sort of know that you need to go back here. Because Jorg is back here, investigating the body. Hi, Jorg. Bye, Jorg. He basically just says, he's dead. Dang. And that's the extent of that conversation. Because remember, there are like 5 playable characters in this game. Like, there's Eriko, and there's like her friends, that most of which we didn't save, so that the dialogue has to be written to accommodate 4 different characters. So the conversations between like spoken characters are quite shallow. They tend to have like one line each that can fit in as a response to what the other person is saying in the scene anyway. Anyway, we get back to the main room and find another dead body. Oh dear. Killer Man's body count has increased to 2. This is trouble. Input the code. There we go. The code is on the dead body, but if you already know it, you don't need to look. So I don't. So I don't. Middle tunnel here is the trap, but it's very hard to get close enough to tag it and only it. Yeah, hard right. I had to think about that for a moment. The trap is on the left side of that room in this pattern. It's the stairs. It's not always the stairs, though, so you gotta know. You gotta know. But I do know, so I can evade it simply. And in fact, I haven't been hit yet, and with any luck, I will continue to not get hit. Are any of the friends worth playing as normally? Asks someone in chat. Not really, no. That's the wrong corner. Close, but not quite. So Eriko is the best character to play as in any event. So the gimmick of the friends is they all have different stat lines, but Eriko's is the best one. Her strongest trait is that her heart rate advances extremely slowly. Whereas when it comes to the other characters, their heart rate jumps a lot quicker, but there's also a hidden trait to every single character in the game besides Eriko. Eriko, when she gets into an encounter and she hasn't tagged it first, so she gets like a little shock, her heart rate increases a little bit, but she falls down for a bit and then she gets right back up again. Every other character will crawl around on the floor for like 10 seconds before they can get back up again. Other characters need to find an item called the shock brace to get back up again after they get knocked down on starting a fight. Eriko can just get back up. It's like a hidden mechanic. And as a result of this, it makes every character who's not Eriko worse by default. Because obviously, while every character is crawling around on the floor at the outset of every single encounter, the enemy is kicking them in the back of the head. It's also very slow, so that never helps. But there is one use of a character in a run. I didn't go for it in this run because it's sort of a risk strat. But Kevin is technically useful in the second level because there's no fights. Sort of. And the reason for that is that I'll demonstrate it here actually. When Eriko jumps, she has a bit of recovery on landing, you see. Kevin doesn't. In fact, male characters in general don't. They reuse the body type across gender in this game. So both Eriko and Michelle have like the funny jumping end lag, whereas male characters don't, and Kevin's the only male character you have access to at that point in the game. So Kevin technically jumps faster, and in total, if you were to use Kevin for stage 2 during like the jumping puzzle segment, you would save a whopping total of about 7 seconds. Woohoo. The trade-off is that if you make a mistake at any point and accidentally get into a fight, like accidentally bump one of the worm encounters, something that is quite likely to happen just before the jumping puzzle because the movement is hard to predict and semi-random, all your time save and change is in the bin. Along with a very healthy dose of your run might just instantly die because while Kevin is taking his sweet time getting off the floor, he might just get hit by the worm a whole bunch and bleed, and then once you start bleeding in that level, you'll die before the end of it. because it's quite long and full of movement. So it is a risk strat. Anyway, now it is time to solve the murder mystery. Who is Killer Man? Who is Killer Man? Is it the player? That's what that says. Player. Abnormality led you to buy this game, is the text as it reads there. We can also say Killer Man is Killer Man. I like that answer. Killer Man is Killer Man. I have declared it to be so.
Continue to play now. We hope you enjoy your experience.
Thank you. So I've solved the mystery. Killer Man is Killer Man as I enter the morgue. So normally, depending on your pattern here, the morgue would have traps very thinly scattered around, but because I'm on pattern C, the traps have all been seeded in locations that I don't go across. So there will be absolutely nothing standing in my way as I run through this extremely large room. Which in theory, I guess, makes pattern C the strongest pattern for this level. It's a bit funny though, that's like, yep, I'm walking, here we go. Can you pick wrong here, and are there consequences to that? Okay, well, since we have time. The choice you make for who Killer Man is doesn't matter in any percent. And in fact, it doesn't matter in any category, now that I think about it. Because without Jorg alive, and we're not going to save Jorg, it takes too long, the mystery is never solved, because Jorg is the one who solves the mystery. So even if you get the right answer, if Jorg is not saved, you don't get the bonus. The correct answer, by the way, is Killer Man. Killer Man is Killer Man. It's revealed to be like the spirits of the dead visitors of the park possessing a suit. Therefore, Killer Man is Killer Man. That is the answer. Here's Jorg.
What was that? I don't think those were costumes. Those creeps were real. Hey!
And Jorg, die. And that's the last we're seeing of Jorg. If we wish to save Jorg, we'd have to find him on a cart in this extremely, very too big level. We're not going to do that. In fact, on the good ending category where you do save all your friends, it is still faster to allow Jorg to die in the level and then buy out the money requirement to revive him, because that is an option. It's $475,000. It's that for every single character you don't save, which means you can only really do that twice, maximum. If you get the correct answer to the Killer Man puzzle, and save Jorg, you get $1 million as your prize, and that's enough to buy out 2 revives. So I timed, is it faster to let the first 2 friends die? Well, you mean you save Kevin automatically, so he's a freebie. Is it faster to let Randy and Michelle die in Wood Puppets and the worm level and resurrect them both using the prize money? By saving Jorg, or is it faster to just to not save Jorg and just resurrect him later, but save the other 2 friends the manual way? It's faster to let Jorg die. He takes so long to find that he is slower than 2 people combined. And change. Literally. Huh. So Jorg dies and we buy him out instead. Buying out, there's 2 options for revival in this game. If you have a character unlocked and they die in a level, you can revive them at the medical center. That costs less money, but still a lot of money. If someone dies because you never found them in a stage, they can be bought from the visitor bank, which costs $475,000, which is a lot more than reviving someone if they die in combat. That's how the system works. So you can't simply avoid rescuing your friends at all, but there is a failsafe if you miss 1 and you still want the good ending. Does the money give Randy back his brain when you revive him? I actually don't know. I've never tried to do that. That's a good question. Because Randy in the Wood Puppet stage doesn't have a brain, right? You need to find the brain in the level and give it back to him. Otherwise, when you recruiting him as brainless Randy is what you do in the good ending strategy, because getting his brain is slow and you never play as Randy, so the fact he's brainless doesn't matter. But you play as a variant character if you save Randy without his brain called Brainless Randy. Brainless Randy has 0 adrenaline. The little blue gauge in the bottom left with your brain showing how many traps you can tag, he has none. This renders Brainless Randy virtually unplayable. He will get hit by everything and die. But it is there. You can play as Brainless Randy. It's not a good time, but you can do it. Anyway, I think that, yep, I've made it to the end of the segment. That rambling killed enough time. It's a lonely time on Pat and C out here. There's nothing to evade, so let's do a boss fight instead. Okay, so we run into him, try and dodge around. Erica, you gotta... I'm getting close again. Can't do that. So he teleports in, I gotta get close, dodge backwards, and hopefully he gets stuck in a pattern of doing this burst move, but me being just slightly out of range. So we get close and backstep, and that puts me in the ideal range for him to get stuck in a pattern. It's a little random, though. I'm not quite getting it. No, it's teleporting away. If you're too far away, he'll teleport again. Oof, too close. And if you're too close, you get blown away. Like, that's probably too close, yeah. Fortunately, that doesn't do too much damage, so it's not that punishing to do it wrong. I'm gonna get hit for that. Oh, he just... okay, never punished. Dodge through. Dodge through. Hey, the pattern. That's the pattern. That's what you'd like to see. Loop that, basically. That's the idea. We have defeated Killer Man. This is a large string of text that basically says, because York was killed by zombies, the mystery of Killer Man was never solved. I have abridged that for your convenience. Shift in seat. Make sure you get up and move around every once in a while, you know? Alright, we're moving on to the final level here. Toy Hunter. And this stage, every time I do this stage, the question is inevitably asked, and the question is responded to with my answer of, yes, that is the joke. Let's see if you can figure out what I mean by that as we go. The stage also presents a very funny, semi-localization change, one of the only instances of, like, semi-localization change. Anyway, first we'll get our ticket to the Toy Hunter exhibit, except this guy tries to bash us for collecting our ticket. He's not a fan, he's a hater. And I shall do to him what I do to all my haters, pleading for escape. There we go. Victory. I have acquired my Toy Hunter ticket. Okay, so Toy Hunter once again works fundamentally differently to every other level in the video game. Are you noticing a pattern yet? Because this transpires when we enter. Oh. Fantastic. We are now a toy cross between Woody from Toy Story and Indiana Jones. That is the joke. Every time I have played this, people are like, oh, this is like Indiana Jones. It's like Toy Story. It's like, yep. That's the joke. I apologize. My bitterness is leaking into the commentary somewhat. We're Cork now. His name is Cork. Or is it? I'll get back to that. The way this stage works is that traps have been mostly replaced by story events instead. So when we go over them like so, it's a story, but we can skip the story events by tagging them the same way we would any other trap. Story events don't hurt you if you were to activate them, but obviously they're cutscenes. I don't want to watch them, except this one, which I totally do want to watch, so... Whee!
Cork, I love you.
I love you.
Favorite. Oh, my head hurts. Ha, ha, ha.
And a kid, die. That's how Toy Hunter begins. We're Cork, a toy, and the kid who owns us died. Great. Can't broadcast that on the GDQ stream, moving on. sorry, that's just there. I kind of have to get that in camera frame. He's dead.
Yep.
And the kid is buried with his favorite toy, which is a big booty toy called Sexy Doll. This is the game's words, not mine, okay? And now we want to pursue our toy wife to toy hell. So in order to do that, we must get buried with another dead kid. That is the goal right now. That's how this goes. Illbleed is that kind of game. Step 2, ascertain what pattern I'm on for this level. If it's not the first one, it's always the second one, so that doesn't tell me anything. It's either pattern B or pattern C. Oh no, it's either pattern A or B. You can tell I find this one kind of difficult. Okay, third around the bend. It's pattern A. Got him. Okay. Pattern A. Now I know what pattern I'm on. Those of you who can read Japanese might have noticed in the subtitles of that one cutscene, the English voice acting described the toy we are playing as Cork, but the subtitles said that they were Inda instead, Inda-kun, as in Indiana Jones, because in the Japanese text it calls the character something different, but for the English voice, presumably that was removed because it was a bit too obvious. You can play faster and looser with parody type stuff. In Japanese media, the Western lawyers get angry at you if you do that. Oh, didn't get that one. That's sad. I strayed too close. That's skippable. That's why we bought the healing. But it's funny because obviously this game has no Japanese dub, so all of the English voices describe the character using a completely different name than all of the text. So this game contains both of the names at the same time. As we will proceed forward, tagging traps as we go, skipping the story event. This story event sees a demonic Sonic the Hedgehog descend from the heavens to taunt us for not being able to be reunited with our sexy doll. That again is also not a joke, that's just a candid description of events. It's a bit too long, however, so I'm going to save that one. We will get back to the demonic Sonic the Hedgehog later. Tag both of these. There's a fight in one of them. I forget which one, so I just went with both. Tagging it means we can immediately start our escape. See, they try to shoot us, but we're already out. We're gonzo. We're out of here. I'm making myself scarce. Bank right around this corner to avoid a fight on pattern A. This pattern is convenient for that purpose because we can actually evade this fight. On some patterns, it is impossible. But not this one. It can be done on this pattern. Excellent. Egg bar. It's a bar for eggs. We're skipping the story event, but in summary, Cork comes here because he is depressed and comes here to drink away his woes. While in here, he gets into a bar fight with a bunch of eggs in the egg bar and kills them in the bar fight. However, killing people is frowned upon in polite society, and so Cork goes to jail.
So, do they drink eggs, or are they just a bar full of eggs drinking regular alcohol?
It's a bar full of eggs.
Oh.
Lock him up for 500 years. No, he shall get a death penalty. I hear ya. Yeah, kill the bum and send him to hell.
Roger that.
Okay. We are being sent to Alcatoys. As one does. But Cork has a revelation, realizing that, if I am executed, then, that works out, because I want to go to toy hell anyway, to be reunited with my toy wife. So he's like, this works out, actually. Excellent. So off we go. Can I get that dude from here? I cannot. Pattern A has rather too many traps in this room. Some patterns have less. But that one has many. Okay, and this is Cork's hearing. We're gonna skip this cutscene by actually tagging it, even though the positioning to do so is like super awkward. Where Cork is pronounced the death sentence. Unfortunate. But again, he's like, oh, you know, this can work. I can turn this around. I can still win. But first we must proceed through like the nightmare world. It's like you know how like in Silent Hill where like everything gets like all orange and rusty and stuff? It's like that. We meet this guy crashed into a door. His name is Potodon. He will be important. You know, briefly, but important. But he doesn't have any gas. So you must go get some gas from this gas barrel, which inconveniently has 2 triggers located directly on top of each other. 1 item, 1 story. We just want the gasoline, thank you very much. But you still gotta tag that story event or the barrel will talk to you. A lot. We give Potodon his gasoline. And we go on our merry way. The trick of this segment is that there are gas barrels around, but if you actually check any of them, they hurt you, instead of giving you gas. But then proceed to our execution, which is by hanging, and the game attempts to trick you here by giving you 3 methods. So you must remember which one was the correct ones, like chopping? Chopping is not what that's called, but whatever. Electric chair? No, that's not us. That's not it. That's not for us. Hanging. And I'm going to skip the cutscene as well, because it's a bit long and a bit grim, moreover. But Potodon interrupts our execution, and instead we fall into the sewers. Cork is a bit displeased by this, because, you know, he wanted to go to hell. But it turns out Potodon had a reason for this. A reason. It turns out that if a toy simply dies in the regular way, they don't go to toy hell, they just go to regular hell. These are distinct concepts, according to the lore of Illbleed. Regular death, regular hell. That wouldn't be any good at all. He wouldn't be able to reunite with his toy wife that way. Am I really too far away to tag that one? So instead, we reformulate a plan. In order to go to toy hell, you need to be buried with a kid who died. That is the rule of toy hell. I'm not even recounting this in an unusual way. This is just the plot of the game, and it's, like, essential to understand why I'm even doing the things I'm doing. I stole Potodon's memory chip because that model of him was running out of gas. Now we need to find a suitable child. Preferably a sick one. Your only hint for this is this garbled letter, which I will read to you. To Santa Claus, the toy which needs me is the doll of Toy Hunter. My house is the 2nd floor of the apartment. Without making a sound. Without making a mistake, rather. I made a mistake. Jeremy. Inda. That's your only clue for which house is the correct one. We're gonna move in a certain way to avoid an enemy encounter here, but wait, first, caution. Recently, ghosts and so on increase in this town. As for the children, to be careful. Sound wisdom. Anyway, the frail kid is in this window. He finds us, he picks us up, we did it. Now we're gonna resurrect this other Potodon that he has. And then we're going to kill the child. They kill the child with a laser beam. I'd love to show it to you, but it's like a super epilepsy risk. I'm not putting it on the stream. It like flashes 5,000 colors super quickly. It will hurt. Like, funny, but I'm not gonna injure people on purpose for that. So we get buried with that kid. We are sent to Toy Hell. This is Toy Hell. We've made it. We've done it. And Sega Saturn boot up noise. His name is Zodic.
Oh, I missed you, honey.
Skip, can't show that. We must defeat evil Sonic to reclaim our toy wife. That's how this works. When you shoot him, rings go in completely random directions. When he spin dashes, he is totally invincible too. Can I get 2 foot? Ooh, I got 2. Very nice. It's very hard to get 2 rings with 1 shot there. Each ring takes 4 hits before it disappears. Oh, I'm being undone by the fact that none of them spawn near me at all. Tragedy. Ah, he's invincible during any animation. He cannot be shot. How dare you? You gotta be far enough away from these. These rings are landing in the direst of positions. Direst is not a word. It's becoming a word to describe this, though. It's okay. Fortunately, this fight is, like, hard to die on. Zodic over here doesn't do that much damage. No, I want to shoot the ring, my dude. You are wasting your time. It is a metaphor for the franchise as a whole. Oh my god, he really is just wasting time. It is a metaphor for the franchise as a whole. I have destroyed all of your rings, Zodic. What now? Zodic, die. I win. I've defeated Zodic. My reward is that I get to be with my toy wife, and I ride away on a rocket. Cannot... Get that off the screen. I ride away on a rocket. And now we proceed to the final boss, or final bosses. You have a choice of 3 boss fights. For the final boss of Illbleed, you can choose between an enemy from a previous game made by the same studio, the dollar spider from an earlier level, and Oh No Man. I'd love to fight Oh No Man. He's way too hard, though. And slow. So we're not going to do that. Although I am going to be spicy and pick the second hardest option, which is the fight from a previous game by the same studio. It is faster to fight the bull stinger, as it is called, over the dollar spider over there, but it is more difficult, meaning I might die on this. That's why I picked up the substitute doll, as it would give me a second chance if I completely beef this. Bull stinger. He do a jump. The thing about this is that you gotta preempt his attempts at attacking you, because it comes out kind of fast sometimes. Stay close like this. The thing with the Dolachura is that... Okay. I predicted the spacing correctly. Woo! Oh, good spacing. What are you doing? How am I not getting hit by this? Can this guy stop hopping around for like 3 seconds? The thing with the dollar spider is that he gets on the ceiling and doesn't come down until you kill his subordinates, which is slow, whereas Bull Stinger can be damaged at all times if you keep the pressure on. But sometimes he can just do like point-blank jumps like that, and they're really difficult to deal with. Because like he's basically, he becomes an entire hitbox the second he gets off the ground. Which is no fun to deal with. I timed that so well, I deserve a medal! Give me a medal for my Illbleed prowess. I win! I made that look super easy! Time as soon as I lose control here. Time. I win the game.
GG.
I made that look really good! That was a good boss fight. It's very difficult to evade the leap attack at point blank like that. Very difficult. It comes out like frame 1. You have to preempt it, basically. Anyway, that's Illbleed. That's the thing. We received $100 million as our prize. That's the run. Thank you very much for having me. I hope you enjoyed this ridiculous game that is Illbleed. I feel like I explained 5 different games at once there. Sadly, I can't skip the credits, and they're like 10 minutes long, so...
That's about right for Illbleed, though.
That's Illbleed. Yeah.
So, if anyone wanted to find you, where can they find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/punchy. You can also find me on Twitter at succinct_punchy. If you wish to learn this game, in fact, I spent 3 months making a video tutorial series for it. It's like, that makes it sound like it's really long and elaborate. It just took that long to get all the footage. Because, it's like 3 patterns and I had to record all of them individually. But if you want to learn the game, I have a video tutorial. It's split by stage, so you can learn the patterns, make your own notes off it, and get to going. I put all the information out there for everyone, even though it took me ages to compile it.
Alright, Illbleed was a fun time. Thank you for doing the run, Punchy. And for everyone else here, we all have plenty more runs coming on up, so I'll be able to stick with us for that. We're going to be right back very quick. We're going to take a quick wellness break. This is the time to stand up, touch your toes, stretch your legs, do what you need to do, not die of blood clots. Before we go, if you're watching this over on YouTube, come over to Twitch. We're on twitch.tv/GameIsDoneQuick. If you're interested in looking at any of our live content, we start most nights around 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll be right back. All right, we are back from the break. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that wonderful run of Illbleed. I always like watching Illbleed. It's a very unique game that you really can't compare to any other game. And it just... well, you saw how silly it is, so I think it's always a treat. Speaking of treats, we're going to be going on to our next game, which, funny enough, I wasn't trying to make it exactly a birthday theme, but 2 out of 3 games actually have birthday references in it, weirdly enough. Illbleed had the cake, and our next game, Silent Hill 3, I think has like a whole song. I don't know if we're going to have time to play it, I think it requires you to go like a lot of backtracking, but a matter of fact, Silent Hill 3 is a fun time, and it's a pretty cool run. Anyway, up next is going to be Silent Hill 3 featuring Cat Link. So take it away.
Hello everybody, howdy hey, how's it going? My name is Cat Link and I'll be running Silent Hill 3 glitchless. Sorry, I have to constantly touch the keys on my keyboard, otherwise the game will go into demo mode, essentially. With me will be Igdices. Happy birthday, by the way. I've already said happy birthday like 5 times, but happy birthday.
Well, I can't ever plan the GDQ show on my actual birthday because, like, I don't decide when it happens for either one, so it's just like, what's the closest Wednesday? Okay, there it is.
Exactly.
So it's day after, technically.
It works. All right, so we're going to be doing the game on easy action, easy riddle. So we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go. So we're going to be playing as Heather. So immediately we're going to be going and diving into a nightmare. So essentially, we have to wake up quickly. If we can get through the cutscenes there we go. So right now we're in a nightmare stage, so we need to die immediately or just wake ourselves up. So by doing that, we're going to find the nearest big enemy that we can find. Oh, hello, there you are. And we're going to hope for an attack pattern. Unfortunately, we're not getting the attack pattern we want. We want all left punches, and sometimes this enemy, likes to give us nothing but right punches. The left punches do more damage, so obviously we want to get those, and there is a way to get... Oh, there we go. And so one more punch, and we should be good. Usually you'd be able to just fall off the edges and just immediately die that way, but unfortunately on easy we can't fall off ledges, which is super nice in certain cases, but in this case, yeah, we have to find the nearest enemy or die on the, I believe the train tracks, the amusement park train tracks, that is. So now we're awake. We're alive and well. So we're gonna make our way home. So by doing that, we're going to make our way through the mall. So we were interrupted by a gentleman. We didn't get to see the gentleman, but he said his hellos and he was being kind of weird, so we ran away. Now even more weird is some enemies that we're seeing all of a sudden in the real world. Is this all a dream? I'm not too sure. So one thing I like about this game is the movement. It's probably one of my favorite Silent Hill games in terms of movement, just because it's I don't know, it's very reactive. So if you want to, strafe, you can strafe, you can turn around, do quick turns, which is super nice. Gets you out of a room, in and out of a room very, very quickly. And now we're seeing these little funky guys. I forget what the actual name of these are. I remembered them like a while ago, but I don't know. You see them and they come and they go. So we're gonna go grab a key. We got the tongs from the bread shop. It's bread. Always it's bread. All right, excuse me, sirs. and or madams, or whatever you'd like to be called. I'm sorry, don't hit me, please. So one thing with this game, there is a little bit of a thing where if an enemy's too close to a door, excuse me, I can't see, Heather will automatically want to aim towards them, and we obviously don't want that. So we try to hope to avoid the enemies near the door. Hold on. 8352, I believe that was. 8352, I think I said?
Yeah.
There you go. And there we go. Hi, Claudia. Bye, Claudia. We're just going to leave. We bumped into a cultist that we're not sure. She's just some weird woman we bumped into. So, unfortunately, we had to run away. She made our head hurt, something like that. So we're just going to get into this elevator and go home. We just want to go home to our dad. We just got to wait in this elevator very quickly. And this is kind of like a descent into the nightmare realm. So the elevator, if you couldn't tell, is not looking the greatest. And the mall all of a sudden looks not great. So now we're in the nightmare version of the mall, I guess. Now there's all these lovely split head dogs. They're not very nice. I'll be honest. They're not the nicest of dogs. If I could pet them, maybe I'd take a chance. So it's a little dark in here, so we're gonna go grab a flashlight and get on out. So now we can see everything. Like we couldn't see anything before. I don't know. It was just a little dark and I was scared. Excuse me. Pardon me. And hopefully, there we go. Yeah, that door is a little troublesome when it comes to auto aim on doors. Oh, you can see she kind of pulls towards the enemies every time I'm near a door. She has like this weird shifting movement. All right. Get by these closers here. Thankfully, they're pretty slow and they don't get in our way generally too often. So now we're going to make our way to the second part of the floor now that we have our coat hanger. Because we couldn't get to the coat hanger before. I don't know if that's going to work. Oh, that did work. Lovely. Love it when those things work. So now we're making our way to the second part. So this game went under a lot of development recently in terms of just glitches and overall run changes. So I'm running the glitchless version of the run, as in I don't do any alt tabbing, I don't do any out of bounds, I just do things from point A to point B. Nothing. It's very, very pure run, if you will, I guess. Although the out of bounds, like all the out of bounds and a lot of the glitches that were found recently are very, very cool. They're just very not marathon safe in my opinion, because if you look left a little too much, you might crash the game. So I don't run that category. I'd rather not take the risk.
It's definitely a bit rough. Also, just doing it, like, it makes it look like the game is breaking, even if it's working. Like, you just drop a bunch of frames. You don't really... it's kind of hard to tell if it's just working, so this is nicer for general showings.
Yeah, and you get to see all the bosses that we should encounter, because in the glitched version of the run, you skip a lot of things. Although some of the skips are actually really cool, just on a general thing. So I don't know, I find glitches are pretty interesting, but they do skip a lot of things. All right, we're just gonna crack this nut real quick. And we got a little pearl, or a moonstone, sorry. Looks like a pearl to me, but I guess we'll call it a moonstone. All right. So you may notice we're now listening to an enemy that likes to squeak. I don't know what to really call that sound effect, but it's a very loud noise. This game has some weird audio balancing. So you might see that a lot of the game is very quiet until certain enemies are on the screen, and then it's just absolute chaos in the noise department. All right, so we're now making our way to the first boss of the game, which is Splitworm. So Splitworm has 6 different holes it can come out of. Hopefully we get a quick one, and hopefully Splitworm doesn't decide to be a jerk. So the enemies in this game, as at least bosses, they do have boss health RNG, which is really weird to explain, other than sometimes they take more damage, sometimes they don't take a lot of damage. It's very much a toss-up, and that's why a lot of bosses in this game are quite reset heavy. you'll see later with Leonard. I have a big thing with Leonard or Alessa. Both of them, no good. All right, so let's see where Splitworm is going to be. Right here. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. All right, the boss was nice.
Good fight.
Yay! That boss can sometimes leave you with one shot left to kill him and go right back into the hole, and then you have to wait until he cycles and comes back out of another hole, and it's just a huge headache we'd like to avoid. But thankfully, he was nice. Now we can finally get out of this damn mall. Or so we thought. The nightmare's over, right?
It should be.
You'd think, anyways. I don't know. So now we're finally making our way into the subway and on our way home. So one fun fact I like to give out about the subway here is if you've ever seen Jacob's Ladder, which I highly recommend you watch the original Jacob's Ladder. It's amazing. It's definitely always a horror recommendation from me. But the subway in this game is very much very similar to Jacob's Ladder's subway, which is super cool. But just a fun fact I like to throw out there. All right, so hopefully the dogs don't get in my way here. Excuse me, puppers. Or maybe the Colin doesn't get in my way. There you go. So we're going to be grabbing some, I believe, a nutcracker. Don't ask why we're grabbing a nutcracker to open a bolt. I don't know how that would work exactly.
Oh. Well, you have to crack it.
I guess so. You crack the bolt. Again, I don't know how that would work in real life, but But if it works, it works. We don't complain. Minmo. There's a pleasant picture of a cat in this subway. We love it dearly. I believe Punchy actually has a t-shirt of Minmo.
I think he does.
Yeah. I want one. It looks super nice. All right. So we're going to go grab our shotgun now. Our little gift-wrapped shotgun. We're going to be using this for the majority of the run. The handgun we used for the first little bit, but now it's all pretty much nothing but shotgun for all of the bosses. It does a lot of damage, and therefore we use it. All right, so we're going to be making our final stretch through here. Do. All right, and here we go.
And I know you mentioned this earlier with the doors, but the auto aim is going to kind of come real in effect right now. So what Kat's going to be doing is there's going to be this door that she has to talk to, and then that activates like the subway. There's going to be like 2 dogs, and they're very difficult to avoid the auto aim because Heather just really wants to focus them. Good job.
Yeah, so sometimes you get a little bit lucky. You have to sometimes force Heather to look the other way very briefly and kind of slow her down to activate the cutscene. Otherwise, yeah, her auto aim can be quite hell in that part. Just and not to put any pressure on Heather, but we're on a little bit of a time limit in that section, so the faster the better to get off that train tracks. All right. So this is just a long section, of enemies and train cars. We're basically just making our way to the end while also avoiding these enemies. Thankfully, they don't give us much grief and we can just get right by them. Unfortunately, there is a bigger version of the little ones. Hi there. And sometimes he does hit you, which is not too bad. It's not the end of the world if he does hit you, but it is kind of an annoyance when it happens. All right, so we should be out of here very soon, and we're going to be going into the sewers because, of course, a horror game has a sewer level. It wouldn't be a horror game without a sewer level, I feel. There we go. And now we're off of the subway. Wow, that was such a quick and easy trip. Off to the sewers. So if we were to be doing the glitched category of this run, I believe the first glitch would be in the sewers.
Yes. Well, actually...
or is it in the mall?
In the mall.
Oh, is it in the mall? Oh,
yeah. You get a closer to knock you out of bounds in the mall.
Yeah. This is how much I don't run the glitch version of the game. There's always a new skip happening every two months or so. Anyway, so we're going to be going through this from point A to point B, all without glitches. Hopefully the enemies are nice to us. So right now we're essentially just grabbing some items. This is mostly just, you know, key items that we're going to need, like a bottle of wine. Sorry, an empty bottle of wine. Heather is still not legal drinking age, of course. Why are they? They're so nasty today. Usually they don't hit me too often, but they're being nasty.
They want to be a part of the show.
I know, they're missing out. They feel like they've been missing out this whole time. Hello, goodbye. All right. I'm leaving now. I'm sorry. You don't get to be in this show. All right, so hopefully there's usually 2 enemies at this door, which can be quite an auto-aim fiasco. All right, they're being nice. Good. So a lot of this sewer section is just a lot of running. It's just mostly just trying to get through the sewers to the end. Oh, and I don't know why this specific door always has this really long loading screen. I don't know why, but it's always that door. That's how you know you're at that door. The long black screen that just hangs there for some reason. All right, so now that we have our empty bottle of wine, or our empty bottle, we're gonna go fill it with some oil. Because we're gonna be using it to empty some water to get to the lower level. Excuse me, little guys. Sorry, excuse me, pardon me. All right. There we go. The hoist button is a little finicky here for some reason. It's very specific. I don't know why, but it is. All right, now we can get to the lower level. If we didn't do that, Heather would have been like, wow, that water's really gross. I'm not doing that. And I'd be like, you know what? That's fair. I wouldn't do it either. So after, you know, being in this moist, damp place for so long, we need a bit of, we need a hair dryer. Got to dry the hair. I don't like when my hair is all wet and frizzy. So I'm going to go get we're going to go get Heather a blow dryer to fix that. In actuality, we're going to use the blow dryer to kill an enemy. But, I might as well use it first before we do that. Right. So yeah, the glitch version of the run usually would skip this part. Actually, you would do like a little mini jump, and then you wouldn't have to get the blow dryer. You just basically would just get to the exit, which is super nice. All right, we got the blow dryer, and now we get out. Oh, the enemy that was there is no longer there. Oh no! Oh me! Oh my! Whatever shall we do? So the game is kind of slowly introducing you to another enemy called the Slurper. I don't like them. I don't like the way they look at me. I don't like the way they touch me. No, not into it. So hopefully they're nice to me later on in the run. They're notorious for knocking Heather over. All right, and time to use that blow dryer. And goodbye, blow dryer.
The worst part about the Slurper is the enemy is also they can't see. So normally what Sound Hole runners will do is they'll toggle the light. So hey, they're less likely to see me. The Slurpers cannot see. So what happens is you just hope they don't hit you.
Yeah, a lot of it is just by random chance of, okay, I'm going to try to avoid them as best as I can. But oftentimes they have like a very random way of attacking, or just, it's hard to tell which way they're going to going, and like the hitbox for them are quite large. So sometimes you think you avoided them, but in reality, they're hitting you. It's terrible. And Heather takes forever to get up. It's basically like Heather's taking a nap. Which honestly, after all this, I'd want to take a nap too. Finally get out of the sewers. Get out of here. But before we can finally go home, we have to go to the Hilltop Center. So the Hilltop Center has two modes as well. It has the regular, normal IRL, I guess, look, and then it has the haunted Hilltop look, where it's just very rustic, very creepy, and filled with enemies. All right. So this part is just, I hate going upstairs. It's a very odd turn. I have to like move my mouse in very wide strokes. Finally to the top. There we go. All right. So the elevator in this area does not work, so we're going to be using the stairs quite a bit here. And push this mattress down there so we can use it to cushion our fall. Because we're going to be going down a floor. Ah, nice and comfy. Now I can really take a nap. Just kidding. All right. Those loud, screechy enemies. We love them. The game is a tad bit quiet. Okay. All right. So this part, we're going to be collecting a few items. We're going to be collecting a jack and a rope. Why? So we can use the elevator that is unnecessarily unavailable. So we have to grab these items. So if you're probably wondering, where are the puzzles? So on easy mode, there is actually a lot of puzzles that are removed from the game. I've never really seen a game do this before, where it just completely removes puzzles altogether for an easier mode. But yeah, Silent Hill 3 actually just takes out a good majority of them. So that's why a lot of people or a lot of runners will usually stick to easy, just because it's the most competitive category, and also it's just less headache. Granted, I don't think any of the puzzles are... Excuse me. A lot of the puzzles are not... I don't think many of them are RNG anyways, so it's not too bad, but the enemies can be quite finicky. All right. Especially those slurpers, my goodness. You play on Extreme 10, oh my goodness, you're dead if that slurper touches you. All right. So we're going to be opening that, skip the cutscene, open the inventory, put the rope, and now we can go. And that's the end of Hilltop, regular Hilltop, I guess you could say. Sorry, that turn is always very finicky. Okay. Oh, look. Oh, wow. Finally, I can clean off all this dirt. With blood. And grime. I guess we're not really getting that shower we wanted. All right, so now this is where it's going to be introducing the slurpers pretty heavily. And also we're going to be introduced to a new character, Vincent. He's a very swell guy. There you go. Ooh, and you can see where strafing in this game is really, really nice, especially when it comes to tackling corners. I love the strafe in this game. It's very, very nice. All right, so we're going to be going through this section of the game. We're going to be coming to the first floor twice. But first, we got to go get our ammo and a piece of liver. Yeah, we're going to be going get a piece of meat from this fridge. I wouldn't recommend eating it. Not saying that you probably, you probably could, but I probably wouldn't. We're collecting a various amount of items to create a fire. Why you would need pork liver to do such things beats me. Hello? There you go. Can you start a fire with pork liver? Wouldn't that be just cooking the pork liver?
Maybe. It might have enough grease involved to start a grease fire, maybe.
I guess that's the intent, but if you were to start a grease fire, right? Wouldn't that spread? Oh,
It's Silent Hill. Maybe this place should burn down.
Probably, honestly. I'd want it to burn down. There you go. And now that we have all of our items, we've created a fire, and now we can go through this door that we totally knew that was there. Remember when we mentioned slurpers and having to hope they don't attack? Yeah, that's this hallway. You get 2 of these hallways, and this one is the hardest hallway to traverse through because the slurpers tend to be a little bit more, cluttered. Whereas this one, you just have the one slurper to worry about. Usually he's in the same place anyways, so it's not too bad. Grab the coin, and we're gonna go get a pop because we're thirsty. We got a key out of the pop. Wow, what a surprise. We're really lucky. Wow, I can't believe it. We grabbed the one pop with the one key we need with the one coin. The chances. But now we have a key to get to one of the rooms in the bottom floor. So we're gonna go do that. And so you're probably wondering, why don't we just leave this building? Well, we can't. So the reason why we can't is because there's a giant monster blocking the door, and unfortunately that monster needs a special spell to get rid of it. Tui Fui Ego Eris.
Tu Fui Ego Eris.
What a strange spell. All right, so that removed the monster at the door. I don't know how it works exactly, but it just works. So now we can finally leave the area. And now we can finally go home. The little story that it tells you in this area is actually pretty interesting. It tells you about basically it's like talking about the creature at the door and how it's blocking off the villagers, and then they needed a priestess or some sort of, spellcaster to help, calm the monster down, so to speak. So that was the spell that ended the monster. And that's why we use it. And it worked, surprisingly. Just our luck. All right. Dad, I finally got that bottle of wine you asked for. Not very good. I don't recommend it, but, sorry, Dad. So our dad is no longer with us. So we're going to get revenge. We're going to use the shotgun, and we're going to hope this... There we go. Sometimes this guy can run around on us for a little while, and he can be a little frustrating. Thankfully, he's being nice. We just shoot him a couple of times, kick him in the butt, and that's the missionary. Very, very quick, very, very simple, but sometimes that boss can ruin about 30 seconds of your time just by running around. It's quite annoying when it happens, because he can block your shots, believe it or not, which can be, not ideal. All right, so we're now going to Silent Hill. And we're going to, figure out what's going on in this town, what's happening. So we're going to be heading to the hospital because, we got a few bangs and scratches and a few bruises. So we're just going to go get a med kit real quick from the hospital. I'm sorry to tell you, it's probably not going to be very quick. You might have to wait a while, but that's fine. We'll have lots of company to keep us sticking around. So it's really cool to see how Silent Hill 3 really came into Silent Hill. Because if you speedrun Silent Hill 2 and 3 back to back, it's very, very confusing because they both go into the hospital. And they both have different codes, different ways of how they go about things. It can be very confusing. Ek, I'm sure you have experience with speedrunning both of those games back to back.
Yeah, a little bit. Honestly, It's not as bad as it seems, though. I think the main thing is that some of the hallways just feel so much longer for some reason, and I don't really know why.
Yeah. I think it just depends on which ones you go through. For me, it's the codes that mess with me because there's different ways, or you go through the elevator in Silent Hill 3, but you don't really take the elevator in Silent Hill 2 till later. And I always just get those mixed up. But you do technically kind of take the same route a little bit, but just done in a slightly different way.
So, weird thing about the codes that you mentioned. So, if I remember correctly, like, this second floor code's like a sideways T or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't ever do Silent Hill 2 on easy. I don't like easy mode on Silent Hill 2 just because I don't like the idea that you can just one-shot everything. I like doing boss fights. Silent Hill 1 and 3 end up having easy mode, not beginner. So you still do boss fights, and I think those are fun. But for Silent Hill 2, I always do hard mode. And it's not too bad if you remember the codes, because on hard mode, it's a T. On Silent Hill 3, it's also a T.
There you go. Yeah, it's 4639 for Silent Hill 3.
Also, I want to give just a quick shout out to Punchy, because there's a very, very, very minor time save you can do there that I think loses time for real time but gains time for IGT, where you can zoom in on the clock, pause the game, and then look at the time. And it's so dumb, but it saves like a couple of seconds, and I love it.
Yeah, I've noticed you do that a few times. It does save a good amount of IGT, which is really nice, but yeah,
like this.
It's so silly. Because that code is RNG, so you just don't know what you're going to get until you enter that room. Yeah, so sometimes you can just pause the game and look at the clock, and if you're good at analog clocks, you could probably look at it and be like, oh, it's that time, because it is a 4-digit code. The best code to probably get is like anything that's just a 1. Just 1. 0001, 1000, whatever. That's like the best code, and I've only ever gotten it once. There you go. All right, and now for me to sing, because I am going to forget the 7215. All right, so I'm not going to have to really remember that too hard. 7215, right? I have short-term memory.
7215.
7215, 7215, 7215, 7215, 7215. 7215, 7215.
Oh, wait, what was the code again?
7215. I think.
What if it was 73?
7215. We got it. Let's go. I tend to sing to myself anytime I need to remember code because it's the only way I can remember without forgetting instantly.
If it works, it works.
Yep. Hello. Goodbye. So Ek mentioned that there is a bit of a happy birthday song in this game. There is. It is a bit of a track. I don't actually remember what floor it's on.
Neither do I.
I do remember it being in a locker, but I don't exactly remember the floor because we do technically just straight up avoid it. I went the wrong way. I'm overthinking things. Excuse me. Wrong floor. There you go. Get me out of here. All right. I was thinking about the floor of which the the locker was on for some reason. Might be on the first floor then. But yeah,
it exists is the main thing.
Yeah, exactly. So the phone call that you would normally take is just it's like a random phone call that Heather finds in a locker. It's like a payphone or whatever, and she picks it up. And all of a sudden, there's this weird guy on the other end who's just singing "Happy Birthday." It's a "Happy birthday, dear. Who are you?"
It's a sweet moment.
It's a classic. We love it. Usually I like to sing it to my Silent Hill friends anytime it's their birthday. All right, do a quick turn there. We have to activate that door before we go through this door because for some reason the game just works like that, but that's okay. Usually we just do a quick turn and we're out of there. This is a final hallway. We're just going to be basically walking to an end point where we see, it's kind of like a save, usually the save icon we would normally see around the town, but instead this one makes us just feel weird. It makes us question things of what happened to our past. And now we take some ladders. We're now going up into the nightmare. And you just get to see a bit of variety in like some of the enemies and just a lot of like the textures and the cool things that, you know, Team Silent has put into this game.
And then you get the slurpers back.
Yeah, the slurpers. Don't remind me. So we do get to deal with them a little bit in this area, but we don't get to deal with them as much as you would think. They can be a little bit of annoyance because they will be right next to the elevator, but hopefully they're not too close to the elevator where we need to worry about them. So we're going to go to B3. So this is where one of the puzzles were just completely removed. That door is open. That door's normally not open. Usually you have to do like a whole puzzle for that, but on easy, we don't gotta worry about it. So we're basically just going through the nightmare section like we did for the regular section. Don't question the guy in the locker. He's doing just fine. He's a nice guy, I swear. All right. And now to our final floor to go get some blood. Because we got a little baggie. But we're going to need to put something in that baggie. And we need blood for sacrificial cult reasons, I guess. All right, we got our blood. And now let's get out. All right, don't do it. Don't do it. All right, we're good. That guy always likes to tease me a little bit with possibly hitting me. All right. So there's gonna be a nurse in this room. Sometimes she likes to hit me, sometimes she doesn't. She's very weird. She's good. All right, there we go. Final slurper. Thankfully, this game has this thing where the slurpers don't, if they do try to ram you, they don't exactly hit you. I don't know. It's very weird, especially when you're just coming out of doors and stuff. All right, we just had the weird sacrifice thing, and now there's a hole in the ground. Don't question it. It's video game logic. All right, so this is Leonard. Leonard likes to swim, but thankfully he's not swimming today. No swimming. So if Leonard decides to go for a swim, you have no choice but to wait until he comes back up. Generally, we would use a machine gun. There we go. That's done. Usually we would use a machine gun to down the boss quicker, but I suck at aiming with a machine gun, so I don't use it. I probably should, but I don't. AKA, I have a skill issue, but that's fine. All right. So now we can finally get out of this hospital and mosey on our way to the amusement park. So the amusement park is what I like to call discount Disneyland. I'm super excited for our trip to discount Disneyland. Are you excited, chat? You should be. You really should be. There's lots of things to see. I promise there will be no accidents, no monsters. It's perfectly safe. Don't worry about it. If you see a weird thing, it's just a person in a costume. AKA Robbie the Rabbit. We love Robbie the Rabbit. I think there's also other, not just Robbie the Rabbit. There was also like a horse and I think a dog. I can't remember. There was like a few different ones. Wasn't there like a duck or something?
Maybe.
It's been a while since I played this game casually, so I don't remember. But yeah, so Robbie the Rabbit just so happened to be the more popular one. Also, they put Robbie the Rabbit like literally everywhere in the amusement park, so obviously Robbie the Rabbit got most of the fame. You know, I was kind of rooting for the horse. You know, and we have Juho up next too.
We do.
We got our resident horse coming up. All right, so now we can finally go talk to Vincent, be like, hey, what are you doing in my hotel room? Anyways, I'm leaving, bye. That's kind of weird. Random dude in my hotel room. I'm gonna go now. This is a little too spooky for me, you know? So this is just gonna be a long trip. Basically, we're just running all the way to the amusement park. Thankfully, it's just down this road, so we just gotta, you know, just whistle a few tunes or something and, you know, make random noises while we, you know, entertain ourselves. Dun, 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 dun. Discount Disneyland. I can't wait to make my way there. It's gonna be a fun time. Yep. Just, you know, and sometimes you just gotta sing to yourself. There is the bowling alley. I think the bowling alley, we just passed it. Could have went bowling. You know, bowling for your birthday, Ek.
You know, I can't even remember the last time I actually went bowling.
Same, actually. It's been quite a couple of number of years. There's Robbie the Rabbit. There's definitely alive humans in that suit, for sure. So we're just going to wait here for 2 seconds. 1, 2. So we're just waiting for that enemy down there to go a little bit further in so we don't have to deal with him after, because sometimes he will body block. All right, quick turn. The key fell. I'm going to have to grab that. Actually, I don't think I need to grab it. We're good. There we go. So it's completely random when this... I don't know what triggers the key to fall exactly for this section, but yeah, sometimes it can take a while for that key to just slam down on the ground. Otherwise, you're just kind of running around aimlessly. So normally, this is kind of like where we were at the beginning of the game. So the route I'm taking right now would be the normal route you would take if you were to play it casually. So the game would force you to come here, get on the train tracks, and then fake get hit with the cart. So there we go. Get out. But now it's for real. But this time we're gonna narrowly escape. As you know, in Illbleed, you know, narrowly escaped, very narrowly.
So you're on like a helicopter coming out of the sky for the roller coaster.
that'd be fantastic. I wish that would happen. But no, instead Heather just makes a jump for it and she lands on this little ticket booth thing. So now we're getting into Borley's Haunted Mansion. I love this little place. Usually we would Alt-Tab to save 2 minutes, but instead we just wait. You can't do anything. All you can do is just wait. Come inside and look around. If you feel you're ready, then go through the door. All right, sure. No. No.
Hear those voices? A family of 4 was sliced.
So basically, this is just a haunted house. We're going through it. We get to look at the cool props, I guess. You know, it's a pretty spooky looking haunted house. It says help everywhere. That's kind of concerning, but I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, it'll be alright.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
Anyway,
Wait, I'm lying. It's all just a joke.
Just a joke. I
I
wanted
wanted to scare you, that's all.
The truth is, only
Alright.
one person died.
So just waiting for this door. Heather looks very bored. All right, there we go. So we're going to go activate Danny. Hi, Danny.
That's Danny.
That's what I say about that. Bye, Danny.
But quite friendly as
He's very friendly. I can assure you he's quite friendly, you know. We were pretty close at one point, you know. He's pretty nice.
But he came here after
First losing his way. Oh, maybe you might know. Where is the path to heaven?
path to heaven.
All right, there we go. So normally on hard mode, we would actually have to be a little bit more careful in this last hallway here. But on easy, we can just run right through it. I think on hard mode or any like hard difficulty, you have to wear the bulletproof vest, I think.
I hope you enjoyed your tour. Please
I
come back.
think so, but I think you're able to crouch down, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah,
I could
there's
be
like a
wrong.
little bit of like a weird crouch that Heather can do.
Right.
That was supposed
All right.
to be the exit.
So this room is basically going to be going through the same thing twice. It's not much of a difference in between the two hallways. It's just one hallway feels shorter. AKA this one. So you can't really see the edges of where you have to turn. So you just kind of have to guess. But it's the same path as before, so you're not really struggling. All right. Finally out of that haunted house. Onto more bigger and better things like a Ferris wheel. Or not really Ferris wheel, what is that? Oh, merry-go-round? There it is, merry-go-round. Or I forget what the one with the twisty cars is called. I don't know. Either way, we gotta go get a chain here to open a door because a lot of the doors around here are quite locked and we need to get through those doors to make it to the next area. Don't ask why I'm picking up a shoe. I lost my shoe and I now just found it. Thank you, amusement park, for keeping it safe while I was away. Oops, excuse me. Sometimes that guy can knock you over. It's not too great, but thankfully, if you go to the right enough, he will not hit you. Oh, excuse me. There we go. There, put the chain on one end, put the chain on another end. There we go. And now we go activate the ride, which will open the door. There you go. Oh, wow. What are you doing here, buddy? Douglas! What are you doing? I still find it funny that Douglas is more injured than Heather is. And he's like a grown adult with a gun, I'm pretty sure.
He's tired.
Maybe he's just getting old, 50-something-year-old man. You eventually get tired. All right, so we're going to give her the shoe. And we're going to give her... This game's very weird, unfinicky on hitboxes. If you're not too exactly center with the item that you need to use, it sometimes will just be like, yeah, you can't do that. I'm like, what do you mean I can't do that? It's right there. No, you can't do that. But what do you mean? Silly things like that. All right, so now Trollessa. Or Alessa, whichever you like to call her. I like to call her Trollessa because she's kind of a meanie. And she likes to troll me. So I'm going to sit here. I'm going to activate the load screen because this actually saves. It saves in-game time. It doesn't really save RTA, but we do it just because it does save time. That did not work. So I'm going to use a little trick here where I use the dialogue to pause the IGT time. It's a little weird, but it works. So pause this IGT and you can let the horses move and you can still shoot on time and not lose any time at all. Oh. Really? There you go. I'm hoping I don't lose ammo when it comes to Alessa, because Alessa can be quite a troll and likes to run. I think that's the last one. Could be wrong. What? There you go. Yeah, sometimes I get the pattern off for these. There is a little bit of a pattern you can do with these guys, but sometimes they don't cooperate too much, so you just have to like sit here and hold F, I guess. Just hold the text until it stops, and then you'll hear a little click. There you go. And then when you hear that click, you go back into the save or load menu, wait about like 2 seconds or so, and then you get out, and then that should start the cutscene. There you go. Now for Alessa. So she has a few different phases with different weapons. Each phase is more or less the same, except one has a knife, and there she goes running. I told you not to run. Oh, wow, that was fast. That was 2 bullets. We like that. We take those. You know, she may have run, but she at least died in 2 hits. Okay. I don't appreciate when you hit me like that. That's very rude. I thought we were friends. There we go. So we tend to go to the middle, so that way she spawns exactly to the left of us. We do it every single time, so that way she stays consistent and she doesn't do some nonsense. There we go. Go back to the left. She should spawn to maybe the right of us. There we go. Basically, any point where we don't see her body on the floor is where she'll probably spawn. There you go.
Another micro thing is you can see Kat adjusting the shotgun every few shots just because she wants to make sure she's hitting as much as possible. Normally it's not needed, but like you can see the adjustments in between the fight. Yeah.
A lot of times Heather will, like, especially with the shotgun spread, it can be quite sporadic on where it wants to go, and sometimes it might seem like you're aiming at Alessa, but it just turns out you're just not, apparently. So slightly adjusting the shotgun to where you need it is definitely recommended, just to make sure you get that full spread on her, because for the most part there is the fastest you want is 2 shots per phase, but obviously are 2 to 3 shots per phase, but sometimes, you know, that just doesn't happen. All right, so we're now in church. We tried to fool Claudia into thinking that we were Alessa. She didn't really believe it. I don't blame her. You can kind of tell the differences, at least for me. But now we're collecting tarot cards. All right, I'm going to need a little bit of quiet for this part. So right now I'm just listening to the cries and going in and out of the room, and basically speeding up this process. And if it doesn't work, then we just keep going in and out because it's faster than just waiting. There you go. So you'll hear like the cries, or you'll hear footsteps and cries. So usually when you hear the footsteps and the cries, you usually have to wait until they're done, and then you can activate the door or whatever you need to do. Quite often the cries can be quite annoying, but you know, just going in and out of the room a few times and that should be done. It's a very weird trick. There was kind of a new one too. At least a new one to me. It's a little bit finicky because you do have to kind of strafe yourself out of there. So we do that about 2 times in this section. All right, grab the key, get out. All right, So this whole section is going to be a lot of collecting tarot cards, where you need to collect 5 exactly. So this is another, there we go, we hear the cries, we leave. Because that's exactly what we do when you hear a crying woman in the room. We leave, I guess. Oh, somebody's crying in here? Oh, sorry, I gotta go. Are we here crying again? We gotta go. Hopefully she's done now. Yeah, she's done. There we go. So now we can carry on. It's a weird little trick. I don't understand how it exactly works, but it makes things a lot faster. And now we learn about the Glophatus. It's a big old lore thing. Basically, it's a red liquid, I suppose you could say, that kills bad things. It's very weird stuff. You know, Silent Hill. It's weird. Alright, so now we're going to go get the rest of the tarot cards and get some more ammo because we're kind of lacking and we're going to need it for the final boss. Make sure I don't forget about this room. Sometimes I forget about it, but thankfully you don't really have to do... there's not really a huge order in how you have to do... Excuse me. Thank you. And how you have to do these rooms. You can mostly do them at your own pace or whichever way you want to do them as long as you get the cards. There you go. I think, yeah, we go this way. This way. Excuse me. See how he hit me there? That was like super delayed. Yeah, where bosses turn into regular enemies now. Alright, hi Vincent. They look like monsters to you? Yes, they did look like monsters to me. That's why I killed them. Anyways, excuse me. Pardon me. Passing through. Time to go get the final tarot card, and then we can do the puzzle to get out of here. Or to go, quote-unquote, defeat God, I guess. Which I like to call God chicken bones, because that's literally what God looks like in this game. Excuse me. So this little area can be a little tricky to maneuver in, because there's so many things just laying around, and Heather likes to hit all of them. Especially in this little classroom here, because the camera angle can be a little tricky. So if you pre-turn before you start running, she should always be good. There you go. Excuse me. Everything's up in flames right now. I gotta get out of here. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. That guy was running at me. He was giving me a weird look. Alright, so now that we finally got all of our tarot cards and we nearly escaped death, we can now make our way to our old room, which was used in... Oh, excuse me. I pressed F, but I guess I pressed E. That's okay. So now we can finally go to our old bedroom from Silent Hill 1, which most people might, if you played Silent Hill 1, you'll probably remember this door this room quite well. We were just in here not too long ago to grab a key, but we didn't really spend much time in there. So you can see all of Alessa's pictures, drawings, and dresses, which is super weird for Heather. Hey, Ek, you know the password for this?
Maybe. It doesn't count against IGT. That's all that matters.
That is quite the one nice thing about that puzzle is that it does not count towards your IGT like at all. So you can spend as much time as you want on that puzzle. It won't give you any sort of like bad thing if you take too long. It's just, oh, here you go. Take as much time as you need, because sometimes the puzzles in this game can be quite weird.
Last time I was there, it took me 5 minutes.
Oh, I remember.
I forgot.
That's okay. Sometimes when I come back to derusting this game, I forget to. It's fine. All right, so now we're at the final boss. The chicken bones. Ah! So we're going to get our trusty dusty shotgun, and we're going to be healing in between the rounds here. So we're going to do one shot to get her down, and then one shot to the head. Usually she does like some pyrotechnic stuff in here, but we just completely avoid that by just sticking really close to her. On harder difficulties, you wouldn't be doing this. You'd be sticking into the pit of her elbow and kind of just hitting her every so often. I didn't grab a... It's fine. It should be fine. I'm a little worried. I thought I grabbed Ooh, this might be risky. Yep. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I apparently did not pick up a ampule, which is a full heal, essentially. and that's okay. And time. There you go.
GG.
GG. Usually you want to pick up an ampule for that fight just because it gets a little scary, but yeah, that's Silent Hill 3 glitchless. I hope you all enjoyed the run. Ek, thank you very much for having me. Yeah, curb stop the chicken bones. You get them, girl. Sorry. It's been a blast. Happy birthday once again. Thank you for having me on. It's always a treat. And thank you everybody for watching. We do still have one more run coming up, so stick around for that run. But yeah, that was Silent Hill 3.
Thank you for doing the run. Before you go, if anyone wanted to find you anywhere, where can they find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/catlink. I stream pretty much 4 days a week or whatever. Mostly always horror games, speedruns, dark fantasy, whatever you want. That sort of stuff. And yeah, you can mostly just find me there.
All right, sounds good. For everyone else here, we're going to be going to another break for a moment. We'll be setting up our last game of the night. It'll be a fun one, so don't you go anywhere, but do stand up, touch your toes, stretch your legs, do make sure you take care of yourself, get a snack, get water, don't die of blood clots. Anyway, we're going to be right back very quick, so stay tuned.
4013.
All right, we are back from the break, everyone. Welcome back. It was a pretty great run of Silent Hill 3. It's a classic horror game with a classic runner, so it's always a fun time to see. For our last game of the night, this one became a pretty recent favorite as it came out this year. However, before we go into it and before we begin, I actually do want to mention that on Speedruns From the Crypt, we do have a lot of horror games, a lot of spooky games. Some are more violent than others, so it's just something to keep in mind that this game will have a few warnings. This game can get a little bit violent for one, and two, and the more important warning I like to give is that this next game following up will be having some moments of, I guess it would prompt an epilepsy warning. There might be some like really flashing lights. The runner will do what they can to try to make sure it's not going to be too bad, but it is something I just want to make sure that you're all aware of, because even though we have a lot of cool runs to show, these are still something that I know some people would rather not see. So, up next is going to be a new title, a new game. This is going to be MADiSON, featuring Jewhorse. Take it away.
Hello. Hi, my name is Jewhorse. Coming to you live from Singapore because it's like 1 p.m. 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Welcome to MADiSON, by the way. MADiSON is a indie horror game, came out this year by an indie company that's actually called Bloodiest Games. This is their first game. This game is actually one of those games that was anticipated for a very long time. It's anticipated for like 5 years until it's released. So yeah, it's like think about this game as Visage or PT. It's like a corridor simulator kind of game. It's pretty cool with the storyline as well. The plot is pretty cool. You play as a guy who got like a Polaroid camera as his birthday gift, and he got like possessed and stuff like that. But we'll talk about it in the game progression. Anyways, Ek, I want you to pick the skin because it's your. Okay, yeah, we got blue. Blue looks like this. It's really dark. It's his color, I guess. It's X's color. But yeah, you can actually, if you buy the DLC for the game, you can actually change the camera skin. I don't have the last one because it's collectibles, and I'm a sucker for not getting collectibles anyways. But yeah, we're gonna start on a new game anyways. We're gonna do on normal. Anyways, time is gonna start when I say go, because it's not really gonna start yet until I see the screen. Go, there you go. So, you're playing as a guy named Luca. Basically, Luca lives with his family, and also he lives, like, it's a joint house with his grandparents, and he's gonna go to his grandparents' house to actually, like, solve the mystery on why he's possessed, because later on in the game you get, like, really possessed. Can I get this thing real quick? It's very hard. There you go. You can't really see it. You have to use this TV to actually see the knob underneath the couch. But yeah, basically you got possessed, and you're trying to find out like why you got possessed in the first place. Anyways, floating hammer. Wow. Also, that's your dad, and your dad's like questioning you like why stuff happened. As you can see, there's blood on the floor. I don't know, there's a lot of spoilers in the game, or a lot of lore drop in the game as well, because lore drop is that you kind of kill your family members, and then you want to try to escape from the truth. So yeah, you are just going into your grandparents' place for now to find out more about what's happening. Anyways, we're gonna get this camera right here, and I need to get this key. Take a picture, and this acts like Fatal Frame. If you have played Fatal Frame before, it's like a little bit of Fatal Frame. I'm gonna check my camera a little bit right here because I need to pull down this cloth right here. I'm gonna tap a little bit. We have the picture of the grandfather, so we're gonna use that on the wall. And oh no, person. So that person is actually called MADiSON, which is the game title. Wow. Basically, the reason why this game is called MADiSON, there's a few reasons on why this game is called MADiSON. First of all, yeah, the antagonist of the game is actually called MADiSON, which is a demon who was like, she did like rituals, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember a lot of the story. If you remember any bit of the story, Ecdysis, you can talk about it as well.
There's like 6 different plot points, and they all confuse me. But I like the camera effects in the game, and I like a lot of the stuff. As well, before you continue talking about the story, I want to talk about one of the tricks that you have been doing throughout the run that's kind of there, which is the idea of multitasking. You saw in the beginning with the hammer, when some of the items in the game will activate while you're not next to them, like they're just kind of floating. So with that, Juo can actually be doing a lot of the game's like puzzles and getting things while the game is happening. So he has to be very quick in his actions while other actions are happening. I guess multitasking in a way.
Yep. Also, this game has a lot of RNG places. So as you can see right here, right now, there's a clock right here. There's a cuckoo clock. I need to take note of the times. If chat wants to help out as well, I'm gonna be writing down as well. So this is 7:40, I guess. Yeah, 7:40. Or is it 6:40? 6:40. Actually, just put it at 6:40. This is another RNG part in the game as well. I need to take a picture of this, whatever drawing it is, and then I have to look at the symbols real quick. Okay, there we go. One of the easy symbols as well. Also, we need to listen to this this recording. 420. Hey, yo. so yeah, I had to record down 420, and what's the other one again? 6:40. There we go. So I need to record these times down because of a puzzle that I need to go to these clock phases later on in the game. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna pick up this medallion. Also, I'm gonna keep quiet for this. Everyone, spam this word. Among Us. The game gives you Among Us.
I'm glad you like that one.
The game gives you Among Us in the already.
I can't believe this game predicted Among Us, even though it came out 4 years after Among Us.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna be staying at this door real quick. Basically, what this tape is saying is that possession, demonic possession, and also like stay away from insects. But insects are gonna be a very crucial thing in the game because it helps you find photography zones in the game. If you play this game on normal, you need to find photography zones, which are insects like cockroaches actually just crawling around the area. In hard mode, you don't have that, but yeah. So I'm gonna be waiting here for quite a while. So yeah, if you want to talk about anything, you can talk about it right here. Because in the next 5-6 minutes, we're gonna be like AFKing auto scroll.
Right. As well, during the next auto scroll, I definitely say the epilepsy warning given is going to be amped up a little bit. There's gonna be pretty rough lights during one of the sections. But Joe does have a method that kind of diminishes it a little bit.
There's just no way.
Well, kinda, I guess. I just look up.
Also, it should be said there is a lot of RNG in this game. For a game that's just a horror game with puzzles, they're all randomized.
Oh yeah, it is all randomized. Like I said, like one of the randomized places is the clock faces for a clock puzzle. Later on, you will see a lot more stuff that is also randomized. There's like 3 big areas in the game that is actually randomized. The clock is one of them. Later on, there's a chapel, and then there is a gramophone's part that we actually call it blue knees. So yeah. So now you can see cockroaches actually coming out from the door right here. I'm gonna take a picture of it. Ooh, spooky. What is this code? Oh yeah, I had to remember this code. Basically, you get one of 3 codes right here. So I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, is 2 planet water droplets. So water droplet and then planet. Also, to remind myself that I actually need to go around this around this wooden pole thing. If I don't go around this wooden pole thing, it soft locks the game. I don't know why, it just soft locks the game. I asked the devs on why they have it like that, so they never responded. So
it should be mentioned that's also RNG on the code that you'll get. Realistically, you'll always be checking, so you won't really notice it. But in theory, there are better results you can have over, I guess, less good results. So it is RNG, even if minor.
So I'm gonna pick up this was it moon box, and then this how you say walkie-talkie. So this walkie-talkie actually has like how you say significance, because in the lore there's a police officer. I don't remember the name. Is it Officer Russell's, if I'm not mistaken? She goes out into this basement and meets MADiSON. And MADiSON over here, hold on, let me actually listen to this thing real quick, because I had to take pictures of, oh, scary person, for a few times. But yeah, basically I need to take photos when the walkie-talkie gives sound, and also the blinking lights. Oh yeah, there's epilepsy right here. I forgot about that. If you're
That's why I gave the warning before we got here, Juho.
Photosensitivity, I forgot about that. There we go. This is one of them. Okay, now I need to look up, because this is gonna be a lot of like light photosensitivity, because there's gonna be a lot of blinking lights right here. Yeah, looking up is like the best thing I could do. I can't really do anything about it. But yeah, basically, there's a police officer named Officer Russells. She comes down to the basement and actually killed MADiSON. The reason why we needed to kill MADiSON in the first place is because she was actually doing a lot of rituals, and she was doing a sacrifice. She was trying to kill 7 people, including her parents actually, but she was stopped by this officer who killed her. And then the significance of this thing as well, this camera right here that we have, is that it was MADiSON's camera. So MADiSON's camera was brought, how you say, from it was passed down from her to the grandparents, and then the grandparents to him as a birthday present. There's a lot of lore in this game, a lot of like plot twist and whatnots. Later on, you will meet people like Hans Goring or Blue Knees, or even the grandma as well. But most of the time, it's related to MADiSON. But yeah, we're just gonna be waiting over here for like another 2 more minutes, I guess.
So while we have a moment, I think we really should be talking about some of more of the RNG coming up, because, well, 3 major sections were talked about that will really impact the RNG. One of the cool parts about running this game is that, again, like I mentioned, all the puzzles in the game are dynamic. They're all RNG. And just 3 were listed that were more RNG. What does that mean? You can lose a lot of time that way, but there's still going to be minimal things you have to do. One of the earlier examples is when Juho was on the light puzzle, when he was activating the generator. That's always a random answer, so he has to kind of just take a wild guess on what it would be, and it's a series of ups and downs. You'll have a puzzle later with some portrait frames. That's going to be random,
VLC
and
jump
we'll
scare.
talk more about these. Oh, VLC.
Forgot VLC jump scare. There.
I mean, traffic cones are quite scary if they come out at you out of nowhere, I mean.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of RNG in the game. This is gonna be very, very epileptic for a lot of people if they have like epilepsy. So, I guess shut the stream for a little bit, or just have audio on for a while until like a minute later, because this is gonna be a lot of flashing lights right here, like really a lot of flashing lights. So after this screen, I'm gonna be moving around right here. I'm gonna be moving around in circles, and then we are gonna be seeing the last of MADiSON as well. Also, yeah, this game works a lot like how you say? This game works a lot like Visage or PT, where there's a lot of like jump scares along the way as well. So, yeah. So I need to listen to this real quick.
I gotta get the hell out of...
All right, she calls my name. Oh no, Luca, what's happening? Oh, jump scare. There you go. All right, so we get the jump scare, and now we blacked out. We're gonna wake up like pretty much soon. There you go. We are gonna wake up, and we're gonna be surrounded by 8 doors. Pretty much this red door right here that we saw earlier in the game. We're gonna be opening them up like this, and then afterwards I need to take a specific photo of one of the doors, which is this one, and then yeah, there you go. Cool. There is like a pic. Like, it's kind of like a, how you say, like pictures on the floor that I could take a picture of, I guess. It's just like a, I don't know, it's a visual reference for me to actually take the door first try, I guess. But yeah, we're gonna get out of the basement right here. And now we can see how screwed up his hand is, because he's gonna get possessed along the way in the game. So yeah, right now, he says that he's about to go to the attic anyway, so we're gonna go to the attic, and we're gonna do a bunch of puzzles, and this is another RNG part in the game as well. Yeah, there's a lot of, yeah, like we said, there's a lot of RNG factors in the game, so we're gonna go towards the attic real quick. There you go. Alright, so we're gonna take a picture of the walls right here. There's like silhouettes of the how do you say, portraits, I guess, and then we're gonna take note of the numbers as well. Basically, the numbers, if you add or subtract, it will lead you to a number called a number 43, and you need to have that number how you say, remembered in your head. I'm gonna be doing this real quick. There we go. Hopefully RNG is gonna be good to me. What's this time? This is 8:20. I'm gonna take note of that time, 8:20. Alright. Last one is gonna be around this corridor right here, or hallway. Also, that is the significance of the 43 as well, because 43 means that it's the age of MADiSON Hale, and MADiSON Hale actually died in the age of 43 as well. So now we're in the grandparents' room. We're gonna take Polaroid pictures, I guess. I don't know what they are called. They're just called Polaroid pictures, I guess. I'm so much of a Gen X or whatever it's called. Millennial. Yeah, there you go. I don't know what they are called, but yeah, we're gonna go into here right now.
Gen Z, Juo.
Gen Z. Yeah, Gen Z. But yeah, we're gonna go into this hallway right now. The door's open. It used to be locked. Now it's open. I'm gonna put the Polaroid pictures on this visualizer right here, or the projector. I'm gonna look at one more time right here, 10:30, and then I'll be good with times. There we go. We're gonna pick up 2 portraits right here, right now. The first one is gonna be one of the circular portraits. Another like light sensitivity warning right here, because there's gonna be a lot of flashing lights right here. Never mind. Very good RNG that it doesn't flash a lot of lights as well. Sometimes it could flash like the lights quickly, and it's really epileptic. But it didn't do it for now, which is really good. All right, so we're gonna go all the way back to how you say? We're gonna go all the way back to the. Shut up. Sorry. We're gonna go back to the grandparents' bedroom at the moment, because there is like a secret compartment that I need to open up, which is that one right here. As you can see, it's like kind of covered up, but I need to know my planets. So here's my planets. This is very RNG as well, which is kind of weird. So the moon and whatever this is can be reversed, and then you have to do the reverse of it, and it's really bad. Oh, floating hammer again. So yeah, so now I can go into this secret compartment where you could actually get this portrait right here, this grandmother portrait, I guess. I'm gonna take this. We're gonna look at this how you say, this pendant, and then he's gonna ask, oh, is that blood? So basically, on this part of the game, we don't really talk about, or we don't really know what's going on this part of the game, but basically, the grandpa wanted to conjure the grandma because the grandma died due to a certain something called blue knees. And that will be talked about in the later part of the game as well. Hopefully I got... Oh wow, good RNG! Poggers. So, basically, the reason why I say good RNG is because I kind of put the last two portraits in, like, how you say it, like, the places that I need to put in, which I didn't know what the numbers were, actually. So, if the numbers were wrong, this door won't show, and the number 43 would still show, and I had to, like, switch them around, but, you know, good RNG anyways. Now we are in this maze, and luckily this maze is actually lenient. But yeah, there's a reason why I'm looking down in the first place. If I'm looking down right now, there's no jump scares because this place has a lot of jump scares. Basically, if you look up and then if your lighter goes out, basically jump scare will happen. But also at the same time, the jump scare would actually be a little bit slower, like a teeny tiny bit slow. So you don't want to have a lot of jump scares along the way as well. There's gonna be another part in the game that requires me to look down as well, but luckily enough, the maze is actually a linear path. It's not too RNG. Also, we get to see... Oh, who's that? Oh no! Whoa! Alright, we're gonna walk towards here and... Oh no! MADiSON! What's up? Alright, so we're gonna go to the chapel right now, and the chapel is actually, it actually has like some significance to why we had to go there in the first place, because it has significance with MADiSON, there you go. But also at the same time, we're gonna meet a person that's called Hans Göring. Basically who Hans Göring is that he's a bad person who killed a lot of people during the World War II. And yeah. Now we're in this graveyard. So we're gonna be walking towards the chapel. So you got anything to talk about for now?
Really just how wild the chapel is going to be. I definitely know, watching you do runs and doing runs myself, just how luck-based it can really be.
Yeah. Do you want me to explain it right now?
No, I think we'll get there in a moment.
Alright, cool. So yeah,
but we can talk about the general mechanic of how it works, I think.
Okay, so basically you have, it's very RNG. So basically you have 4 candles and you need to put the candles in a specific room. The rooms are like colored based as well, but also at the same time there's like 2 years that you have to go to, which is 1951 and 1987. Cool significance about the years as well. 1951 is when Hans Göring died, and 1987 is when MADiSON Hale died. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But the RNG is that you need to like, you don't know which candle to put in on which year. So right now this is like the big RNG part as well. I think it's like one of the run killers as well, because if you don't get here's the thing, if you don't get 3 candles on 1951, or if you only get like 1 candle in 1951, or you have to put like one of the specific colors as well, which is green in 1951, then it's a really bad RNG. Anyways, I'm gonna use this Polaroid camera. We can teleport right here. Basically, I think it's on the second tape. Yeah, the second tape. If you listen to the second tape, because there's like 3 tapes that you have to listen to, we are only gonna listen to 1 and 3. Basically, the second tape talks about teleportation by using the Polaroid camera. So yeah, basically we're gonna teleport ourselves from different years, but we're only gonna be teleporting into like 2 years, and that's about it. So we're gonna be teleporting from 1951 to 1987, then 1987 to 1951, vice versa. But yeah, we're gonna pick up a few more candles. This is like the last one that we need to pick up right here. This is a blue candle, and then let's see about RNG. So basically I'm gonna be going into 3 other rooms before she finishes talking. And basically, the person who's inside the confession room is actually called Nancy. Nancy is the girlfriend of Hans Göring, and she actually killed Hans Göring in the story of the game, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, she's gonna be talking about a story. It's kind of like a very good RNG right now. It's kind of like how you say an auto scroller, but you can also do these puzzles in the meantime. But yeah, basically, if you go into one of the color rooms and you see Jesus Christ, I'm not kidding, it's good RNG. Only other than the green room. If you go to the green room and you see Jesus Christ, it's bad RNG. So if you go to blue, red, or yellow and you see Jesus Christ in the middle of the paintings, it's good RNG. Keep in mind about that. So yeah, I'm gonna go towards here real quick, see whether there's Jesus Christ. There is Jesus Christ. Wow, I'm having good RNG so far.
The color of Jesus.
Alright. Anything you want to talk about again? Because this is gonna be a long walk again.
I guess realistically, how long would it have taken, like, I guess the community to kind of figure out... This is gonna sound weird, that Jesus Christ is good.
This is like
how many times do you have to notice, oh yeah, Jesus is here, I get the good RNG now?
Actually, this is like... I feel like this is like my own strat, because there's only like 2 people who actually routed this game out. It's me and a guy named what's this guy's name? Visasky, there you go. So me and Visasky actually routed this game a lot. I routed this game like at in the early days of the game. And then Visasky came in and just optimized the routing for a bit, and the optimization of the routing is actually pretty cool, that it could actually go all the way down to sub hour. This game could actually go to sub 50, but it requires like really good RNG as well. So shoutouts to Visasky for actually running this game. Also, we get to see Hans Göring, and Hans Göring actually stabbed our hand, or stabbed Lucas's hand. So yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna go to the I'm gonna go to the yellow part of the game. Yellow part of the year. There you go. Jesus Christ is right there. Wow, RNG Jesus. Hopefully. Oh, wrong one. There we go. There you go. Cool. Hopefully, I get the no Jesus Christ on the green on this year. If not, I had to go all the way back to 1951 and actually put the green candle on the portrait. But actually, to summarize what this like puzzle is that you have to go to like another part of the chapel and actually take pictures of portraits and the paintings, and the paintings actually show like what color you have to put the candle on. No. Well, time for me to go back to 1951 and get jump scared, because there's gonna be random jump scare in the game. So if I go back to 1951, like I said, it's kind of bad RNG for now, because yeah, I don't want to see Jesus on green. So there's that. Oh, oops, wrong year. There you go. That's the year that I want. But yeah, basically, yeah. Now I had to walk all the way back here and actually put the candle on this part of the chapel. This year, and also at the same time, there's gonna be jump scares, and I'm a sucker for any kind of jump scares. I just don't like them. There's a lot of jump scares in this game, actually, but also at the same time, they're kind of fixed as well. Most of them are kind of fixed, but there are a few that are randomized, and I just, you know, I don't like random jump scares because of the loud sounds as well. So hopefully I don't get any kind of jump scares right here. Okay, cool. Alright, let's go back to the next year. I'm gonna be touching the plaque just a bit right here, because I need to read this thing. There we go. MADiSON, hail. Funny enough, from what I've read, or from what I've been from what I've been reading, MADiSON refers to Luca, or the protagonist of the game. And then you have the I in the middle, which is like a small little I. Like the game's called MADiSON, but there's a small little I. So there was like a reference to what MADiSON is for some reason.
So,
but yeah.
Quick question about the run. Considering the RNG, between the worst RNG you can get and the best RNG you can get, what would you say the time variance is?
Oh god.
This is a question in chat from Feral Hogs.
I think about like 8 minutes. Like
8 minutes?
Yeah. If you get like good RNG, versus if you get RNG, it's like an 8 minute, like how you say, gap. Because like you could get very bad RNG and not get all the candles on how you say, you won't get like the red, blue, or yellow candles to be at 1951, and it would take like a very long time. It's a very long gap. So yeah. Anyways, we get MADiSON's skull once we how you say, break the coffin, and yeah, it's a really rough RNG as well. There is also Blue Knees as well, where Blue Knees' RNG is like about 5 minutes of time loss. Yeah, so it's about like 6 to 8 minutes of time loss in the chapel if you get really bad RNG, and then 5 minutes of time loss if you get the later part in the game. It depends on like the big RNG sections in this game as well, but yeah, this game is quite lenient, and I don't know. I feel like this game has like some kind of threshold to finishing this game, so that's why like I usually finish this game in about like 55 minutes or so. But yeah, it heavily relies on the last RNG section in the game as well. So yeah, I was like, all right, door disappears. I need to look back. By the way, jump scare warning. I just want to mention that out real quick because I'm gonna be strafing like this, and there you go. And there's gonna be a lot of loud sounds right here. There you go. So now we're out of the attic, and we are gonna go to back to the grandparents' place, because we are gonna pick up a key from the grandparents' place right now. Basically, this key right now is gonna be unlocking a door, or the red door again, in the basement. So yeah. So we're gonna go here. Basically, the phone call is just telling, if I'm not mistaken, it's just talking about, yeah, your son is possessed, and please stay away from your son. But yeah, the key wasn't there before, but since we have been to the chapel and we completed the chapel, we could actually go to this part right here. And this is another big RNG section in the game where you could get lost in the basement. I will show you what I mean when I unlock this door. But essentially what it is that like you have to look into 8 different rooms or 8 different sections in this dark area in the game. It's not really dark at the moment, but there you go, it's now dark, or dark-ish. There's only like 1 light bulb, and that's about it. And you can see shelves all around. Basically the key major item that I need at this part is a crowbar, because we need to use the crowbar to actually like pull out one of the wooden parts of the game, one of the wooden floors. So I need to be hitting this light bulb and circling around to see whether or not I could actually find this crowbar. And it's another RNG section in the game. I don't know how this works actually. Wow, we actually got good RNG at least. I don't know how this section works, but basically you just hit the light bulb and yeah, you get the crowbar. Also, I need to be very quiet for this part. This part requires me to actually listen to some breathing in the game, so yeah, I'm gonna be a bit quiet. You can hear the breathing. It's the wrong one. Oh yeah. Oh, what? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. There you go. There's some loud breathing that you could hear. Oh, it's you. There we go. So cool. Last one, and then jump scare. There we go. And now we wait, and we are surrounded by all these well, what do you call them? Yeah, what do you call them? Virgin Marys, I guess. In the game, they call it Virgin Marys. So yeah, we're gonna get out of the basement right here. We got the crowbar that we need, and we are gonna be pulling out one of the wood in the wooden floors, I guess, to actually reveal a certain significance in the game, which is a wedding ring that is from the grandma, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. So at this part, yeah, we can talk about anything if you want to. Heck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right now we're going to the I usually see more of that light puzzle.
The light puzzle? Which one?
The ones where you have to turn the switch ups and down.
My eyes.
Oh, is it the generator things?
Yeah.
It's just RNG, that's about it. I don't know if there's a way to actually have it consistent or not, but like I've been trying to find out what it is anyways, and yeah, it's just pure RNG at this point, so hopefully I could get the RNG quickly. Also give me a sec while I actually put the skull right here. So you go back to this room right here, and there's like a ritual room, so you have to like how do you say, put different objects that is significant to you and also to MADiSON as well. So yeah, this is what MADiSON was talking about, because this is really RNG, and I hate this part in the game because there's like 6 switches, and sometimes the RNG is not really that good, but we actually got really good RNG for both of them actually. Yeah.
Also, you may have noticed in the very beginning of the run, Juo used a key on that door, and he finally got the second key, so he was able to use it here now.
Yeah. It's kind of like a optimized routing as well, so, yep. So I'm gonna put the moon box and the sun box onto these Virgin Marys, or weeping angels, I guess. They're called weeping angels, because you're gonna make them cry. I don't know. Sad cat. Anyways, I'm gonna hit this door for a little bit, and then hit the other door as well. There is padlock right here. There's like a 4-digit padlock. You can't really brute force it at all. Even if you have 3 of the 4 codes, you can't really brute force it for some reason. So that kind of sucks. I'm gonna go here. I forgot about that. So I'm gonna take this tape out and then replace it with the number 3. Oh, please do not crash on me. There was a long pause for some reason. I'm gonna go back to the safe right here and put the tape. I don't think it's necessary, but I feel like over here is kind of like a good thing anyways, because of item inventory or item management, because somehow the game actually updates from 8 slots to 10 slots for some reason. So yeah, over here we actually do a speedrun skip right here. Basically in this bathroom, once you actually take this thing, or which is like a weight, like in here, you take a weight right here. Basically these 2 doors will actually close, but if you listen to this recording right here, you don't really get the doors closed at all, because in that bathroom, also I'm gonna stand here for a bit. In that bathroom, you actually listen to what is it? You listen to the grandfather and the grandmother actually talk about blue knees. And yeah, it's a 2-minute cutscene if I'm not mistaken, and you have to like stay there for 2 minutes until the doors open up again. And we actually skipped that by just playing this tape right here, so that's a pretty cool cutscene skip. But yeah, anyways, we stand here because we need to take a picture of this skull right here. Basically Luca is gonna talk about horns. So this is like the only place that has horns in this game. So yeah, we go take a picture of it, and then it would actually reveal like a number for the padlock that we need to go to later on. So I need to take a picture like this. There you go. And we're gonna shake it for a bit, and we get the number 6. So this is like the first number of 4. So if you want to take note of that. Do take note of it. No.
I also want to mention, in regards to the trick Joe did earlier, you really don't notice how much time it saves until you mess it up. Being trapped in that room takes a long time.
Yeah, because it kind of talks about blue knees at that part. Like I said in the beginning of the game, or in the early part of the game, Grandma actually got possessed by blue knees, and she died from blue knees. So yeah, later on we'll get to meet blue knees. But basically, what blue knees is that it's a demon who actually lost his eyes, and we had to get it back later on. But yeah, you see it. Anyways, over here we get to go into this crematorium right here, and we actually find out about the 4 bodies that MADiSON Hale actually murdered to actually do a ritual. So the ritual right here is that she needed to sacrifice like 7 bodies. So yeah, we had to take pictures of like holes. This is the easier one. The second one is going to be me finding the name Judith Hale. The first one is to find the father, which is I don't remember what the name is. It's something Hale, but it's Hale. Yeah. This one is Judith Hale, so I need to look into this one. Wow, very good RNG. Hopefully I can actually go to the third one. Also, the reason why I'm staying around this corner right here is because I think. Oh wow, okay, cool. This is why I think there's a threshold. I don't know if there's a threshold that if you stay at the side right here, the lift would continue to go up until like how you say until like the top, and it won't stop unlike that time. But anyways, we're gonna take a picture of this one because this is the only hole that I need to use a hammer on, and I can actually just, you know, get out of here as quickly as possible. And then the last one is it's a random 50-50 chance. So I need to look for a name called Lynn Jamie, and then I'll be alright. Lynn Jamie, cool. Take a picture of that, and then he says you. Chat, you.
Joe, what's your favorite letter of the alphabet?
U. Alright, I'm gonna take a picture of this thing, and then gonna take this key. Basically, this key is for the clock room. The significance of the clock room, funny enough, is that the grandfather made a lot of clocks, and he stores all the clocks in that room in particular. So yeah, but yeah, hey Chad, what is your favorite letter? It's definitely U, right? Alright, hopefully I get good RNG and we don't get the jump scare. Cool, nice, good RNG. Alright, so yeah, we only got 1 stop at the elevator, which is really good, I guess. You do need to get like no stops in the elevator just so that you could get how you say, good RNG, and actually like no jump scares as well, because there is like a jump scare in that game at that part in the game where I just skipped it, so that's cool. Anyways, we're gonna go back to the generator and actually turn on all the lights again, because the reason why we needed to turn off the lights in the first place was because to reveal the elevator part of the game. Now we actually go into this clock room part, and I need the times right here because this is very significant right here. I don't remember if I had an 11:55. If I don't have an 11:55, that's kind of bad-ish RNG, but I'm gonna hope to not get the clock head that is near the safe room, because that's gonna be kind of a longer routing, I guess. 420. I think I'm alright with the times, I guess. I don't remember what this one is. 720, I guess, or whatever it is. 911. Alright. So I need to remember all of these times right here. And yeah. Do you remember any of the times?
I remember some of them. I know 420 was in one of the first
two
rooms.
there's 420, yes. Of course.
I remember
the
8 was
funny
upstairs.
Number. Yeah, this is the part where like I usually would go talkative mode and like just list down the times that I need to know about. This is 10:30. Okay, I need to remember that one real quick. But actually, I need to put in 9, 11, and then the last number is just a random number. It's either 5 or 8. We got like 8, so yeah, that's cool. All right, we got this one, which is 11:55, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 11:55. So right now, I'm actually looking down right here. So, the reason why I'm looking down right here is because there's gonna be like multiple jump scares if I actually look up. So it's like the same kind of concept with the maze puzzle. If I look up and I see like the jump scares, one is a jump scare, I'm gonna get scared, that's for sure, and two, it's gonna slow my movement down for a bit. So yeah, anyways, 11:55 right here. I'm gonna gamble on this real quick and just go here. Alright, so this is a very rare jump scare that I need to get, or hopefully I can get. It speeds you up like a little bit if I get a jump scare. Jump scare! No jump scare. Alright, it's a rare jump scare that you could actually get, and it speeds you up like significantly fast, because when you're going up the ladder, there is like a leeway that you need to it will stop and then it will just go straight ahead. But if you get that jump scare, it actually skips that stop animation or the stop, and then you could like just move forward immediately. Also, what is this time? 8:20. 8:20 is this one, right? Yeah. Oh no, sorry, 8:20 is not this one. 8:20 is that one. So this one is 6:40. This one is 8:20. Thank you. I don't think I have 10:30, which is really good. Yeah, I think that's a good RNG, actually. Yeah, cool. So I don't have the 10:30 or 9:30, whatever it is. So that's really good RNG, I guess. Alright, we're gonna take this one. This is 6:40, and then the last one is gonna be 4:20. So, like I said, good RNG. If you have, like, a clock phase that you need to go all the way back to the safe room, that's actually bad RNG because it's a longer time to actually go there. Also, yeah, here we go. Cuckoo. Anyways, last one, and then yeah. Anything else you want to talk about for now?
I guess one question about the clocks is there a worst combination of clocks you can get? From my understanding, there's 5 clock faces in total, and one of them is kind of the fake answer. So which one would be the worst RNG to kind of have as the, the fake one?
Like I said, if you go towards the how you say, if you have to go towards the safe room, is actually bad RNG. I think going to the, like, not going towards the attic is kind of bad RNG as well, because you need to kind of going towards the attic is actually good RNG, and it's kind of like a shorter path to actually go to, where is it? 420, there we go. A shorter path to actually go to the clock room anyways. All except for, yeah, like I said, all except for the safe room. It's just, good patterns.
Another question as well, when you're doing this on stream, how do you remember all the times?
I just write it down, that's all. That's all. I just write it down. Yeah. Basically, I had to write these times down so I could actually just remember them. Yeah, we all get the cuckoos. Alright, we gotta unlock this door. There's an unfinished clock right here that the grandpa didn't finish. And this is the very fun part of the game. Like, the really, really fun part of the game. Do you want to talk about this part?
Yeah, this part's definitely going to be, I guess, one of the more notable ones about the game. I feel like anyone do this game is probably the part that sticks out the most, and also, as Joe mentioned earlier, probably the most RNG part of the run. And also, one of the game's really only boss fights. We actually do have a boss fight coming up.
So yeah, I'm gonna hold this note. Usually, the majority of the time I'm actually skipping notes, but this one I need to hold on to because there's another save that I need to go to right here, and this save right here is a red save. I need to look at this note. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 wait, 1 2 3, yeah, 7 4 something. 743, I think, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Cool. So this code is randomized as well. If you see the red lines, that means you have to count them. You could get 1285, you could get 6, 5, 5. It's really randomized with whatever like combination you would get. There's a lot of like randomization in this game as well. Oh, I got a good RNG. Also, you need to look at animals right here. This one's here, this one's here, this one's here. There we go. I'm gonna take a picture of this thing. We're gonna read Blue Knees, guys. All right, Blue Knees. A long, long time ago, there was a creature whose name was unknown. It had always lived alone and was often seen on its own. One freezing, frosty night, it began to feel so very somber that it fell into a 2-day slumber. By the 3rd day, it woke up in blackness with an illness so serious that both its eyes had vanished in the darkness. The creature creeped out of the bed and started crawling, looking for the eyes it knew for sure were rolling. It slithered and rolled, so its knees turned blue and sore, since its eyes popped and tumbled, both of them as dust crumbled. It is to this day that it does not have a clue, but that is no excuse to end the pursuit. And then you have eyes. Now beware those fleeting eyes and make sure to turn on the lights, for your own sight is at stake if you cannot escape. And then here, last part. So you can skip this book, that's for sure. I just wanted to read it anyways. And also, here comes Blue Knees. But also here comes a little gag right here. Thanks to MADiSON, he asked me, hey, can you change the song for Blue Knees? And I said, yeah, you can. And then we have this right now. I hope everyone likes this part.
I'm glad you went Snake Eater and not a not any alternatives.
You brought me into this. But yeah, we get Snake Eater instead of the original song. We still get the original song like later on in the game, but yeah, basically over here, you get to listen to the gramophones, and you have to find 2 eyeballs along the way. And yeah, if you guys want to sing along, you can sing along. Or dance in the chat, I guess. What a thrill. Oh, there we go. We got an eyeball right here. This is kind of good as well. Oh god, wow. You appeared out of nowhere.
So
that's a really random
Blue Knees mechanic. Intermittently throughout listening to these gramophones, while you're looking for 2 eyes, Blue Knees will spawn, do a little jump scare, and you have to take a picture of him or else he kills you.
So yeah, we get to listen to the song. And also this is like the last part of the game as well, because once you find the eyeballs for Blue Knees, you can actually escape from here. Hopefully I feel like I want to say this. Hopefully we get bad RNG so we can listen to Snake Eater a lot more. Alright, here we go. More Snake Eater. Also, I was approved for this, so at least I had some approval for this as well. So shout outs to Richard. Thanks Richard for letting me have this. Alright, we got kind of bad RNG-ish. Hopefully he doesn't spawn right here right now. Okay, cool. This is like the second longest gramophone in the part. So yeah, if you don't get the first 2 gramophones in like a PB run or a world record run, yeah, you have to probably just restart the game, because this is the major run killer in the game. Hey man, that's not cool. I wanted to listen a lot more Snake Eater, man. I don't know, if anyone want to dance, you can dance along to not Blue Knee, sorry, can dance along to Snake Eater. But for you. I already know about this part. I feel so bad. I just know about this part and that's about it. Also, yeah, shout out to Capillarni in the chat. He's the one who actually made the mod. He's the guy who actually made the mod that Igdices has as well. Because you have that other mod that we made, which we are not going to talk about. And it's a recurring gag and joke that we use in the run.
Let's just say the original song in this game can get a little bit grating, hearing it again and again and again.
Oh, it's
so mixing it up's a bit more fun.
Yeah, we're just mixing it up. Later on, you could actually hear the actual song, anyways. But we just wanted to mix it up a bit. So shout outs to the modder who actually does it. So thank you to Capillarni in the chat. Oh, very good part in the game as well. Also, one thing to actually say as well. You wanna know who? Oh god, you wanna know who suggested me to actually have this song?
Who?
It's Yorkie. If you know who Yorkie is.
Yep.
Yep. Cool. I got the eyeball at least. There we go. Cool. So those two eyeballs, we got it. If I had to, if there's no eyeball, I had to go to the last gramophone, and that's like the longest gramophone part. But yeah, we're gonna put the eyeballs into this hole right here, and then that's it. We're gonna be ending the game pretty soon as well. Basically, yeah, there's a lot of plot twist in game. You gotta look at this one real quick. Oh, I gotta look at this one real quick. 5. All right. So I need to look at these numbers real quick. Also, this is like the original music. You can hear it right now. So that's Blue Knees. 085. So there we go. And you get Blue Knees. But you may think that we die. No. It was a hallucination so that we could find out what happened to Grandma, and Grandma died by Blue Knees anyways. So yeah. So yeah, this is like the final walk in the place. So basically what the plot is right now is that you're the final sacrifice for MADiSON's ritual. Basically, like I said, she killed 4 people before getting killed. Yeah, she murdered 4 people before getting killed by one of the officers, which is Officer Russell. And then actually MADiSON, Luca right here that we're playing as, actually killed 2 more victims, which is his mom and his sister, that made up 6. And then the last one, it's either gonna be his father or himself. And basically we all know what's gonna happen, right? So the final sacrifice is himself in the first place. So we're gonna follow MADiSON towards the ritual room, and then we are gonna be ending off the speedrun or even the game. But also at the same time, if you do wanna how do you say, if you find the speedrun pretty helpful as well, it helps out with one of the achievements in the game as well, because there's an achievement for this game that says you can try to finish this game in under 2 hours. So that's a speedrun achievement for that. But yeah, a few shoutouts that I want to give again. Shoutouts to VistaSky for actually helping me with the optimized routing for this game. Shoutouts to people like Tofu and Jason Vader for actually asking me to pick up this game as well, because they wanted me to pick up this game alongside with them. They wanted to speedrun this game, but I guess I was the one who actually speedrun it a lot more. If you do want to check me out on twitch.tv/JuHorse. That's JUHZRSE. I'm a horse speedrunner, that's for sure. So we're gonna be putting in 6085 if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Unlock this thing. We're gonna switch to our camera right here. And then there's ashes over here. I don't remember what the ashes are for. There's some significance for the ashes, but I'm not going to be overcomplicating a lot. But basically, that's the speedrun of it. Shoutouts to the runners as well. Like, there's other runners in this game, like Danny Maguroku, I think, if I'm not mistaken his name. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, but yeah. Anyways, the time will come when I actually hit the chair. We're gonna put the blue camera, the blue Igdices camera, on this pedestal right here, and then time is gonna come out on time. There we go. All right, I'm gonna pause this game right here. Basically, the ending of the game is that you die. That's about it.
Yeah,
I want to be safe. I want to be safe.
It's a bit more severe than we need to show, so we just pause it here, and it's good here. So, Drew, thank you for doing the run. GG.
Yeah, GG. But yeah, the ending of the game is that you sacrifice yourself for the ritual, and then MADiSON is there. There's one final picture that you see that is kind of like burnt, and you are the final sacrifice for ritual. So anyways. Yeah, this game is cool, actually. One of the really cool indie horror games. It came out this year, and you should pick it up if you want to. Shout outs to Bloodiest Games for actually making a really cool game in like 5 years in the making as well. So yeah, and thanks for MADiSON for having me, and happy birthday once again.
Thank you. If anyone wanted to find you, by the way, Juo, where can they find you?
Find me on JUHZORSE. That's Drew Horse, Horse Speedrunner. Usually I would have like this model right here that you can see on the GDQ channel. I can have face cam, I guess, but I like being a horse,
Makes sense. All right, well, thank you once again, Juo, and thank you for joining us for MADiSON. All right, that being said, we're going to be wrapping up tonight's show of Speedruns from the Crypt. I hope you all enjoyed it. This was a fun episode of a different collection of games that I personally enjoy, and I hope that you enjoyed them too. We'll be back in about 2 weeks for our regularly scheduled content on Speedruns from the Crypt. But for now, I have been your host, MADiSON. I plan all these out. I'm a speedrunner myself, and really just horror games all around. If you ever want to check me out, you can find me somewhere down here. I am spelled there on everywhere, and I frequently talk about how I plan these and kind of just how they come to fruition. As well, tomorrow we'll be having the first step, followed by how to train a speedrunner, all starting around 7 p.m. Eastern, so please stay tuned for that tomorrow. All right, I hope you all had a great day and have a wonderful rest of the day and or night. Okay, have a good one.